Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Suzette Speaks Show. I am your hostess, Suzette Speaks, and it's a beautiful day here in Miami on Labor Day weekend. I hope you guys have plans. If you're celebrating in the United States, this is one of our biggest relaxation and even party and get out there at the beach days. So, wherever you're watching around the world, I want to welcome you. It's also a beautiful day to discuss hot topics, and you guys know I love to jump into hot topics on my show. And today I'm going to kind of veer a little bit from my usual. I don't really like to get into celebrity gossip and whatnot, but this is a story that has been bothering me a lot. And I've talked to my friends about it offline. And anytime I talk to folks about things, I know it's probably something that you also would be interested in. So I want to first and foremost, welcome everybody watching on Facebook. I am simulcasting today on the Jamaicans.com Facebook page. So welcome those watching on Facebook. And of course, my YouTubers, you know I love you. Glad to see you. Happy to be here with you. But I am going to bring up a topic, right? Not from like a personal, what should I say, attack kind of way. I'm going to bring up the topic of Nick Cannon. And I know he's a talented brother, and I know he has so much going on in his career. And of course, I'm going to talk about his model for family. Because as we know, even though celebrities like to say they're not role models, right? There's so much influence that celebrity culture has on, especially in the United States, African American culture. So when I started seeing back, since his divorce with Mariah Carey, how Nick Cannon was going about building his family, it always was very interesting to me. And I want you guys to chime in because I'm going to get a little bit into his approach to family. And if you think it is, what should I say, successful in the right way? Do you think it's actually healthy? Do you think it's actually going to lead to good outcomes for his children and himself? Of course, children are innocent. They don't have a choice as to whether they're brought into this world and how they're brought into this world, right? They can't make a decision. But of course, Nick and his partners, some would say baby moms, baby mamas, whatever you want to call them. I want to give some respect to women who are always kind of marginalized because they're not married, right? But you have a group of ladies, I think five now, and we'll see Nick's, I think it'll be ninth and 10th child this year. And it'll be interesting to see, how this plays out in the long run. But for some of you who are watching and just observing like me, I found it very curious that he is going forward with this type of model of either parenting and child rearing, where there is not a one singular father in the traditional sense in a house with one singular mother raising children that belong to the two of them. Instead, he's decided to live his life. And again, this is not a judgment of him as a person because he's done so many incredible things in his career. But looking at how he is playing out fatherhood in a non-traditional sense makes me very curious as to whether or not this is a model of the future. Will other people follow suit? Because it seems as if the mothers of the children seem much more willing. I think it doesn't look like it's an accident. It doesn't look like, oh my gosh, I'm not that kind of thing. It looks like they are willing participants to be in this kind of polyamorous or polyparental. I don't know quite the term to use for it, but there are so many parts of it that I find very interesting and very curious. And I want to know what you, my viewers, have to say. If you're watching, drop a comment. Let me know where you're watching from. I am not, again, a fan. I will just, in my full disclosure, growing up with more traditional values, I've always been like, one mom, one dad is kind of suitable and has been done for millennia. Or in some cultures, others would argue, there seems to be multiple pairings, and that seems to work in different cultures. So is this the future of our culture here in the United States? Is it the future of how people will be rearing children? And will we see other people break away from tradition? Now, obviously, there are different family structures in the United States that people have been kind of, you could say, messing with or playing with for quite some time. So I wouldn't say he's the first, but he's definitely the most popular, right? He's open about it. He's unashamed of it. He smiles for the camera. He'll tell you straight up, I love being a father. I love being a dad. Come on and tell me where you're watching from. Hit the like button. We're talking about how many kids Nick Cannon has, how he's choosing to go about his family life. with multiple women. We're at 5 baby moms, expecting the 9th and 10th child coming up as of the taping of this show. But before we get into Nick's personal life, and again, I'm kind of more so examining it from a a person that is, grew up with common sense, average American, thinking about how I would feel in the shoes of the children, in the shoes of the ladies raising the children, and just curious as to whether you think this is something that we're going to see uh more in the next 20 years, next 40 years, or whether you think this is like a one-off. This is just Nick living his best life. We don't have any what should I say, right to judge, because people feel like that in this day and age. But I do think it's okay to have a conversation about what are the implications. What does it mean for little people that are coming into a situation where they don't necessarily have one father in the home all the time, kind of rearing a child, and you see multiple sides of family, right? And you got sisters and brothers that are half siblings, and I wonder if they get together, for holidays and things. So many things happen in family life. I was just thinking about, I wonder how these folks do it. So before we get into some of the questions, I want to welcome you. If you're watching around the world, hit the like button, would you please? I'm excited to bring you some interesting content on my channel. I'm really focused on self-improvement, self-awareness, and just self-development as a whole. I also like pop culture, hot topics, and current events, a little legal trends. So if you're new to the channel, why don't you subscribe? Please hit the like button. Come on and join my speakers. That's my online family of viewers who like to kind of, watch and participate and let me know how they really feel. So if you have a comment, feel free today, especially, to drop it in the chat box. I'll be happy to read it. I'm going to try to read a few of those as we talk about what's going on. I want to start with who Nick Cannon is as a person, because I think sometimes when we get into the personal lives of people, we kind of dehumanize them. So I don't want to take away, especially as talented as a brother as he is and where he's coming from. I didn't even know, when I was researching some of his background and where he's from and how he kind of overcame a lot of the odds, I was like, I gotta first set the table and let us see him as a human being. And then we can kind of go into why someone would choose this type of lifestyle and whether you think it is healthy and, again, will produce, and it depends on what you call successful outcomes. We'll have to define that too. Do you think it will produce the outcomes that, a person who wants to raise, and let's say this is the goal, loving, self-aware, well-adjusted, intelligent kids, if that's the goal, will this be a model for that? I don't know, y'all. It is getting even more complex. I tried to get the names, even preparing for today's show, who had which child when and all this. But I will say, y'all, there is nothing new under the sun. You've had men doing in different cultures this type of relational design. I don't know how best to put it. This type of relational design is not new, right? Even from days of old, you had those, but they were more, if it wasn't a part of the cultural practice in that area, they were more outliers. And I'm talking about within you could call it modern, last 2,000 years, Judeo-Christian model. It's very rare that it was socially acceptable for a man to leave one woman and start families here, there, and down the street. Now, it did happen. We're not going to pretend like this is something that's new. There are folks that have tried it. Okay. There are people who have lived this life. Shout out to you. If you are a part of a multi-layered family like this, again, it's not a critique, but we know that it exists. We know that it exists. People didn't live according to the traditional biblical version of marriage until, quite recently. But now we're seeing kind of this model out in the open, and I'm going to get into some of who Nick Cannon is in just a moment. Y'all hit the like button, because we're starting to see this kind of openly, unabashedly, no shame in his game, Lee say, this is what I'm doing. And taking pictures. One thing about Nick Cannon, he is going to make the maternity shoot. If I see this gentleman one more time in a maternity shoot looking so happy. And what I also find very interesting, you guys, is like Nick Cannon definitely, from my untrained eye, has a type. If you look at the women, they all look very similar. Am I wrong? Please drop a comment. I see they have a similar skin tone, and their body types are quite similar in to a certain degree. I'm like, this guy definitely lines up the baby moms to match his desire. It's nothing wrong with having preferences, but again, I'm talking about the outcomes for the children. Do you think it is a healthy way or should become even a socially acceptable way to rear families where people openly say, guess what? I'm going to be your baby mom. All right. And you can have a baby mom around the corner and then one in the next state and then another one and it'll be five and then it'll be six. And we have these type of large conglomerates, different households, one man. All right. So not shout out to my faith, what was it called? The folks, I was gonna say my brothers and sisters of the, I think some of the fundamentalists in the Mormon faith do it, right? Where you see where they call it plural marriage. Not everyone in that faith practices it. But there are so many different designs behind families. It is making me wonder, especially when you watch shows on TLC, speaking of the plural marriage and, seeking sister wife, are they slowly in the media trying to make this more normal? Trying to make it a situation where you're going to say, oh, so what's wrong? Let the people do what they want. Let them live what they want, how they want to live, with the life they want to live. Who are we to judge? Right? But what I want to explore a little bit later is more so what you think the outcomes will be for children who are, again, the innocent party in this, who come into this world not trying to, have a struggle, but sometimes the parents are in a struggle themselves, financial, right? Socioeconomically speaking and otherwise. So you don't know what your parents are going to be. But I'm curious as to whether you in society, you, the viewers, shout out to yourselves for being here. If you're team replay, hit the like button. But today's topic, as I said, is just exploring. Does Nick Cannon need to stop the madness? I may have a guest. I hope he can make it. Savior Black was scheduled to be here, but if you can't make it, Savior Black, it's okay. I wanted to get a male's opinion, honestly, on what he thinks this does for kids or not for kids. And I think sometimes, women see the difference or have a different perspective, I should say, when it comes to some of these issues. Now, how a man, again, all men are not a monolith. All Black men definitely are not a monolith. How they think, how they see the world, how they would choose to live. It's not something that, we can paint with one broad stroke. However, if this was your family or you were choosing a partner, would you choose openly? Would you be down to live a life where, again, there's one male partner and then many female partners in this situation having separate families? Again, I'm going to explore a little bit more about Nick Cannon, the man. Nick Cannon has a lot of wonderful attributes, I will say, when it comes to his hard work and his career. We're going to go over that. I'm going to paint him again in a full picture. But this part of him and this decision, I think, is having some sort of influence on people that I'm just like, is it good for society? Is it good for children? Is it good for the human race? Is it good for the modern West? Let me put it like that, because other cultures do practice things like this. So anyway, shout out to you if this is your family setup. Shout out to everybody watching. No judgment in terms of you, the person brought into the family, that maybe a person wasn't married or maybe you were the outside child, product of an affair. People come into the world thousands of ways, right? The traditional model is actually kind of in the minority right now. But if we are trying to say what will be best for our communities, for especially I'm here in the United States of Jamaican descent, looking at my Black community, Black diaspora, and wondering, whoa, what are we teaching people with this model? And again, even though he may say, I'm just living my life, we know that celebrities have an impact on the culture. What they do, how they live, how they speak, how they raise their kids has a cultural impact. And is this type of arrangement becoming more acceptable? We've seen it before, even though she is long gone from it. Not trying to bring up the past. My sister in my head, Miss Sierra Wilson, when she was with Future and that was happening. And again, do you accept the man because prior to you, he may have had babies with other people? You try to accept that man. But what about an arrangement where he's not trying to see you as the one, the only? He's trying to have everybody kind of on one accord. Found that very interesting. She got past that, now married to Russell. And there are parts of her that I think of like, man, she was younger. Again, when you're in love, you see the good in people and you try to accommodate what they want. But then again, you look at yourself and you say, wait a minute, I have the responsibility of raising a human being. And is this structure the best structure for me to do so? It's a good question. I'm going to ask my audience. You know who you are. Big up yourself. Watching on Jamaicans.com. Today's topic, Nick Cannon. Should he stop the madness? Now, when I posted this, one comment was like, maybe these women should stop the madness. Shout out to, I forget, it was on the Jamaicans.com page when I posted it. It was like, maybe the women should stop the madness because they are complicit. Well, we're not going to say there. It doesn't take two to tango. But I will remind you that there are many parts to a person. I'm not going to pretend to know Nick Cannon through and through. I only know what's in the media, just like you. There are many parts of people's stories we have no clue. So let me just put out there that, again, I'm not going to purport to be a Nick Cannon, voyeur or expert, because, again, we're just looking on the outside. We know what's in the news, right? So how people live on a real intimate level in real life, no one really even knows, right? So I'm curious. I always think, I wonder if they really do get along, and the pictures look great, and they're on the beach, and I'm going to show you a few of them, and they're hugging up, and they're, oh my goodness, my baby. And you're happy for the child. I know you're happy for the child, but deep down in their hearts, are they happy? Are they satisfied with being in the number for when we talk about being among the women chosen? Are you really happy? Is he really happy? Well, he seems to, and I've cut a couple of his statements out to just, lay in some commentary and color in, fill in the lines with what may be happening. I'm not going to purport to know exactly what's going on in Nick Cannon's pocket, households, etc. We're just going to go by what we see in the news, right? So that's what I'm planning on doing today, just an exploration as to whether this type of child rearing is suitable, and whether we as a society should be approving, or kind of like, no, is it okay to shun people still, or we have to accept everything that goes? I don't know how you guys live, but I still have the ability to apply common sense to certain situations and say, wait a minute. Now, Nick is a little bit different because he has resources, because I think the conversation would be very different, y'all, if it was a man without resources. If a man's pocket was empty, we would say, how dare he? But what if the man is rich? What if the man has, like Nick, several jobs? Shout out to him being a hard worker. Some would say he has to be. But he's not the only one. We could definitely talk about several. I'm thinking about NFL players, other people, even down to, well, I'm not going to, the show is only about Mr. Cannon. But I want to ask the question, is this something that he should continuously do? Is it somebody we should look up to? Is there something that we are missing here? Put your location in the chat, please. Let me know where you're watching from. Big up everybody watching. Big up yourself, Vita. Nice to see you, RM, in the building. One of my fantastic moderators. Our Pain. Nice to see you. Says, yes, he should stop the madness. But how come? You was already reading my mind. How come none of these women have no account? We didn't say that now, sir. We didn't say that. We hold everybody accountable over here, but I'm glad you brought it up. Thanks so much for your opinion. Wayne says, I hope it's not a model for the future. I hear you. Doug in the building. Nice to have you here, Doug. Dirk said, that's their life. Come on to them business. I hear you. So this is another attitude I think that's very pervasive. A lot of people say, so what? Who cares? Let them live, right? And then a part that adds on to that, que sera, c'est la vie, let them live their life, is not your life. He would say, but the child is innocent, is not the child's choice. Just saying, devil's advocate right there, right? Dirk Chocolate, big up yourself, and thank you for the comment on the YouTube side. Michelle James, gift designer, lovely. Welcome, Michelle. On the Facebook side says, maybe he's trying to revert to the biblical lifestyle where men had many wives and many children. Listen, King Solomon in the building. Great point. Thank you. TTOO, nice to have you here. Good to see you. Says not the future at all. Our Pain adds, his model takes advantage of the greed of women, boy, who are chasing the bag because women have, he chooses, see him as security. You're saying financial security? I'm reading into it. Having babies is worth the money to them. Ooh, Mariah Carey excluded. Okay, we're gonna start with Mariah. Y'all remember he was married to Mariah. Great point there. It's not the future. This is the present. I hear you, Doug. If asked about the baby mamas, Mariah is giving the J-Lo response. I don't know. Good point, RM. Canon is a clown of the women having children by him too. Really? Our Payne says the average man could not do this and be financially responsible. Hey, Ace Butterfly, it's been a minute, girl. Good to see you. Hope all is well. TTOO says it's a saying since the beginning of time. Nothing new under the sun, 100%. Let's see. Domina Edwards, nice to have you. On the Facebook side says, how can one commit to meaningful? That's the, thank you, meaningful parenting. Even though he says he likes to be there for the awards, I'm like, but with 10 kids by 5 people, or about to be 10, you can you really be there for every award ceremony? Can you really be there for every soccer game? The kids are ages like 5 to 10. They're all young. Don't quote me, but I was just reading from yesterday to today, like all the information about, you know, what their ages are, their ranges are. I'm really curious, you guys. Do you think it's gonna be a good outcome for them? Right? Not living in a child's home full time. Does that bother people? Because we have a lot of separated families right now. We have a lot of people divorced. No shade, no shame. A lot of people divorced and kids are living in separate households at present at much higher rates than in generations in the past. So people on, you know, who had a marriage have family structures currently where there is no father or mother 24/7 in the household, right? So there are people living with that dynamic beyond a choice of, you know, multi-partners on purpose, as Nick Cannon is choosing. So it's a very interesting comment. Thank you, Domina. Yes, good energy. Welcome, everybody. Hit the like button as you come in, please. It's none of your business, says Amelia. Why you don't fix your home before you go after his home? Leave and try leave the grown man alone. I hear you, Amelia. This is not an attack. This is much more of an observational conversation. It's a choice he has to make, and only he and his God will have the final say on what's going on in his life, right? And maybe Uncle Sam with the taxes and child support and whatnot. But it's not a critique, you know, Amelia. And I tried to lay that out at the beginning, but thank you, Sam. Fix your house. There's a saying, sweep around your own front door before you sweep around mine. I'm very careful at that because it's not a matter of me thinking, hey, boy, this is wrong. Hey, boy, this is right. I'm curious to understand whether we are accepting this family structure in today's world. Is it a part of now culture? No more, leave it alone. Nothing more needs to be said. This is who we are as people. I'm just curious, Amelia. Thank you. Big up yourself. Doug says, since Nick Cannon is having children on purpose, this is the point, Doug. Thank you. I don't know what his plan is, so I'm not judging. Listen, this is not from a place of judgment. Watching from the UK, Wagwan, Sarah, nice to have you. Big up yourself. Yes, I'm going to bring this up. He has a medical condition as well. So maybe there's something to do. AC, read my mind. Somebody's in the building. How are you doing? I'm great. Thank you. I understand the Muslim culture. Thank you. Michelle says, has the inclination to populate the world to increase their race or religion on earth, taking the Bible literally, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. That is in the Bible 100%. Amen, says Chris. Preach. TTO said people have tried different scenarios of so-called family since the beginning of time. Very true. It's one structure that has transcended time. Yes, a man with multiple kids down the street, tipping around the corner. Maybe they didn't have it officially up in your face, you know, with no shame, but men have done this for generations. I've heard of stories from, you know, even grandparents' generation and beyond. Of course, we know there's nothing new under the sun. A says it's also called multi partner fertility, having children with multi-partners. Thank you for that, Fat Bernard. And the uncomfortable facts and the uncomfortable truth with Bernard. Thank you so much. Hey, sis, I'm still live, but I'm sending everyone over to you. Thank you. Appreciate you, brother. Rob L says, Nick. In today's day and age, his conduct is not only acceptable, it's apparently praised, as he was recently on the cover of some magazine for being a great father. LOL. Great insight. Thank you, Rob. The mothers do share responsibility, but they want the bag, says Ace. Nick Cannon has been a topic on Nick Cannon has been a hot topic on this, says Doug, but everyone is silent about. No, listen, Doug, I was about to bring up Elon Musk. When I paused and said, let me keep going. No, it's a lot of people doing it. A lot of men of means. A lot of men with no means have been doing this since the beginning of time. You make a good point. You're saying everybody's pointing out Nick, but no one's pointing out Elon Musk. Touche, my brother. I see you. Good point. TCOO says certain things in the Bible, on the Bible, in other things do, and just in part of life, but it's best for survival. Okay, so use it as an outline. Don't, I think, take it literally. Maybe. I hope I'm interpreting that right. Doug, who knows what Nick Cannon's plans are? He can afford to set up trust funds for all his kids and put them through private school, hire nannies, etc. Yeah, he's different. It's not like the average dude doing this. There is a viral video about a 34-year-old black man with 38 children. I remember seeing that, Ace. I think it had it on Oprah too. This dude had all these kids, and everybody was like, really? What are we doing in life? Yeah. Was he marrying the baby mamas? Nah, he's not marrying his baby mamas. Some of them were former employees. He just had another baby. So we have all, hey, Joshua, I think it's reasonable to ask if Nick should stop, but I believe responsibility is more on the women, says Joshua, that allowing him to access their bodies. People are looking at the screen and, so get off of Nick. Get on to the ladies. Why are they allowing themselves to become impregnated? I get you. Thank you, Joshua, for that point of view. Men like Nick and Future are broke, or maybe broken is what I hear. Broken. A lot going on. We're going to talk about Nick's past, some of his upbringing, because I think it does lead to or help us understand more why he's doing his family the way he's choosing to do it. Hit the like button. Topic: Nick Cannon, should he stop the madness? This is a Suzette Speak show on YouTube. If you're watching on Facebook, big up yourself. Thank you, Jamaicans.com, our co-sponsors on Saturdays. It's a beautiful Labor Day weekend, y'all. Miami, I'm ready. Let's go. What are you doing for Labor Day? Drop it in the chat. I hope you guys are getting some rest, maybe some fun in the sun, relaxation, however you do it. Definitely family time for me. Cousins in town, several of them. So we'll be by the pool tomorrow, just relaxing. I think I'm going to go out tomorrow. Tonight, I might do a little something. I didn't go out purposely. You know, when you're getting older, I couldn't go out last night because I was like, I have to rest up for Saturday and Sunday and maybe even Monday. So I like to say, I can't go hard like I used to and go every night. No, we're not doing that. I was like, you know what? Let me figure out what I really want to do, and then I can set my plans up. But it's a beautiful day. Give thanks to God for being alive. My aunt and my cousin passed by earlier today. Shout out to family. You know, that's why I think about this topic in a different way, guys, because family is super important. At the end of the day, all you have is family, right? If you really understand what are the true meanings? I don't know. Everybody said they have, moral relativism and people have different meanings of life. But to me, my personal, right? You don't have to adopt it. Understanding that life is about loving God, loving yourself, loving others. Understanding that the basic human desire is to be loved and to belong, right? To be accepted. And that those hopeful desires are filled and fulfilled by family. But oftentimes, many of us come up in homes that don't fulfill those needs, and not to disrespect anybody, myself included, right? There's no perfect family, right? We are broken. All of us have pieces of our heart, pieces of our personality, things that happen to us that break us, right? And if we don't spend time to fix them, they come out, especially in families, especially to the ones we love the most, right? We can hurt them. Sometimes we're not intentional. Sometimes we are. Sometimes we spend the time to do the work to fix it. Other times we don't believe in counseling. No counseling for me. No. Fix what? Fix who? I'm all right? So in all these complexities, family can be the most beautiful thing you get to experience. It could also be the most hurtful thing you get to experience, right? To love deeply and then to lose, right? But in all of those ups and downs, it is still and has been the building block of life, right? For millennia, human beings living in groups, usually kindred groups, right? So when we look at this, I'm not looking at it again as a personal attack on anybody. Nick can live his own life. He's a big man. He pays his own bill, his own taxes. That's not what today is about, guys. But we're looking at it in terms of a case study as to whether or not this is a good trend for the outcomes that we hopefully will have with kids. Let me get into it a little bit about Nick Cannon, the person. Big up yourselves. I'm probably a little bit behind. Ray Lewis has 6 children, says TTOO. Big up yourself. 4 baby mama. So you're saying it's not the first, not the last. I get it. How does he fit as a father figure? Great question, Sunbreeze, to children when they need a dad to look up to, right? Some people would say you need your dad as often as you can have him. People work and sometimes they don't see their father, even though they're in a married household, right? Sometimes dads work away. Dads are in the army. All kinds of stuff why you don't see your dad every single day. But you need them there as much as possible. Doug says, so you like this past, present, and future. ZZ, big up yourself. Says God's word supersedes all cultures. Nick Cannon's behavior is immoral and irresponsible, says ZZ. One man to one wife. Not going about sleeping around because you may be financially capable of taking care of all the children. That's reckless and dangerous. End of story. I totally have no respect for him. That's how you set the tone for others to be accepting of it and follow suit. So ZZ, big up yourself. Thank you for your opinion, doll. Says, let's stop, the foolishness. Call a spade a spade. This is not behavior that is going to lend to a healthier family, healthier society, etc. We need to stop it. Appreciate you, sis. Thank you. Let me get some new opinions here. Ray, I see you, Savior Black. Big up yourself. Savior Black working with me this morning. Ray Perkins, I think men can have multiple children, but not intermingling women where kids are the same age. I had a roommate once. This is back in college. Let's say it. But yeah, she would tell me like her sister and then the half sisters are almost the same year. Why people be doing that? Like they're literally months apart. Pick up yourself if this is your scenario. They're months apart, 2 different women, but they're in the same year or months apart. That's what Nick has going on. Interesting. But yeah, you're so Ray says, don't give me the intermingling when the kids are literally, you've basically slept with Gina, Pam, and Susie Q within the same month. Let's just call a spade, right? But you're cool with one woman having 4, be with another woman who have a 3-year-old. So you said as long as there's space out in time between them, Mariah wouldn't have 11. So if he want 11, he got to go look 11 and go find them. Thank you. Oh my gosh, TCOO and response somebody said does not fit the father figure, no matter how much money a person has. He only has so much time. That's what I was thinking. He's flying, he's doing shows. Doug says there are wealthy families that put their children through boarding school and see their children only during the summer and holidays. Children raised by nannies. Is that a meaningful family? Great point, Doug. Great point. Good point. Let me see. I got so many people in the chat. CZ adds, that's going backwards in time. For the legacy Black man family has created. King Solomon had many wives, yes, but that never was the plan of God. Having multiple sex partners is not the plan of God. We need to stop rationalizing these dirty behaviors. You can't be a good father when you can't be present for your children. Money is not all. ZZ, you're feeling passionate about this, darling. I hear you, and thank you for your opinion. I don't think these ladies are, okay, Ray, that's what I was wondering. You can smile for the maternity shoe, because it's the maternity shoe. You looking beautiful, you glowing, all the pregnancy just a shine by you, and you're happy. In that moment, I believe they're happy. But when the cameras go, when Nick go to the plane to the next one, are you happy, sis? I wonder, deep inside, I don't know them. I can't judge them. I don't know. I wonder, because I know how I would feel. I would not be happy. I would start crying. I'll be in my pillow. No, Nick, no. I know how I'm built. I'm not built for this. So I might be the wrong person to ask. I'm not built for this. You can't have me and have Sheila and Gina. I would go crazy. I would go mad. You guys, you have to see this video on Instagram. I was going to put it in my stories, but I did not want to put it in my stories because I felt like they had caught this lady. I'm just going to play a little bit of the audio and see if you can hear the audio. I felt, excuse me, I felt like they had caught this lady. She's from Guyana. Sorry, she's from Guyana. And it looked like she was mining a guy named Roy. And Roy left the woman. And I'm telling you, the wailing and the gnashing of teeth and the bitter cry from her belly that she yelled out on this Instagram post. I'm going to tell you whose page you can find it on because I didn't want to repost it because I was like, this woman, the parents or whoever the family was taping her, caught her at her worst, most vulnerable moment when her man just left her. And that's just one man, right? She looked like she had been taking care of the man, okay, reverse of Nick Cannon. But the wailing and gnashing of teeth and I should take care of Roy. Let me tell you who's I'll probably put it in the chat whose Instagram page to go watch the video of this woman who lost one man, one husband. Okay, Libabas page have it. I don't even want to play the background. I don't know if you guys can hear it. Can you hear this? This is the crying after one man. One man. This video. Listen, she talking about how she should drain our bank book. She work 7 days a read for Roy and Roy run left her. So love and a man and a woman is a funny thing, my mom would say. It's a deep, supposed to be attachment. It's supposed to be a hopeful connection. What y'all think? This is a business arrangement? What you think? Do you think he has a conversation with them and say, listen, look, this is what I'm on. If you want to be a part of this, if you want to help me build the football team, let's go. Mercy. I can't even imagine the convo. Ladies, you can't imagine the conversation a man come up to you like that? Listen, I don't do the marriage thing, sis, but I don't do the marriage. But we could do this. I like you a lot. We could make a baby. How does one even bridge this? I'm curious. If you're living in this type of situation and you're willing to come up in the back, just put a little comment. Because I don't understand it, but it's not for me to judge you. I just want to understand it. Right? The mindset. Is men so short or is it just the money? So many men so short is the way Jamaicans say there's so few men that you just we're going to have to share. I heard the great Kevin Samuels recipes once say that. Y'all going to have to share at the top. Y'all going to have to share. Jesus. We're going to have to share at the top. Is this what's happening? Let me get a couple more comments and then we're going to talk about Mr. Cannon's career first and then why we believe. And I'm bringing up Savior Black. Thank you, Savior Black. Y'all hit the like button. We doing work. Nick Cannon, should he stop the foolishness? Is this madness? Is it us co-signing foolishness? Sorry, that's the Jamaican side. Foolishness that he's doing. I don't know. Or are we just not allowing people to live them life? Mind your business. Turn your cheek or eye or whatever. And allow the people to live their life. It's not your life. Stop making a big deal. Nick Cannon is the subject matter today. More so to understand, hit the like button. What people who are choosing this lifestyle are probably, thinking, and whether again we want to, as a society, say, yeah, okay, anybody, growing family, how many kids does he have? Well, let's first look at real quick. Nick Cannon is an American television host. For those who do not know who I'm talking about. This is straight off of Wikipedia. I think I pulled it. I respect Nick Cannon's hustle from he was a teenager. Hear me? Respect the man. And the thing is, it's the same thing when we're talking about like people who get into no, I can't say it's the same thing. It's similar when people have problems in their personal life versus the talent in their professional life. So I can separate that. I know he is a talented professional. Even though I may not agree with his personal choices, it doesn't matter. He can live his life the way he chooses. But I'm going to show you first Nick Cannon, the professional, because I do respect and admire him as the professional. Yes. So he has Wildin' Out, Nick Cannon show, all that. America's Got Talent, lip sync battle. The man work hard. I'm going to give him that, right? The Masked Singer he's doing right now, acted in Drumline, Love No Cost Thing, Roll Bounce, big up Nick Cannon for the hustle. Nobody can say that, oh, hustle you, Nick. Nobody can say they work hard like you, Nick, right? I'm going to say he probably has to now because of all these obligations he's creating with almost 10 kids, 5 women. But beyond that, I'm going to say on a real, serious level, I respect him as a professional, right? So we talked about the Mariah. You guys remember 2008, they got married. Yeah? Want to remember Mariah? Remember Mariah looked like that, like a baby. She was older than him. And they had beautiful children, Moroccan and Monroe. Yeah? But then we get a different Nick. So just an article, I forget, from the 24th. Nick Cannon's family continues to grow with babies 9 and 10 on the way. Everything you need to know about Nick Cannon's family, including his 8 children with 5 women and 2. These are the headlines, y'all. This is literally ripped from the headlines. This is not me making judgment. This is just the headlines. If you Google Nick Cannon family, this is the kind of stuff you're going to get. So when we talk about it, we know there's a lot of complications to him. I briefly want to just go, contextualize him as a person. Grew up San Diego. Didn't know that. This is straight out of Wikipedia, right? All right. Biological father and his grandfather. Cannon was largely raised by his paternal grandfather, whom both he and his dad called his grandpa dad. Okay. As a child, grew up in Lincoln Park's Bay Vista Housing Project, which is a gang-ridden section of Southeast San Diego. Did not know that. While in his teenage years, he was affiliated with Lincoln Park Bloods, a street gang, but stated that he left that behind because he lost a friend. Right in 1998, he graduated from Monte Vista High School in Spring Valley and was president of the African Student Coalition. I thought that was interesting. And he also ran track, right? Received his break doing stand-up comedy on his father's local cable access program. Big up, Nick. This is what Ace brought up. Y'all hit the like button as you come in, right? So Cannon was hospitalized in January 2012 for treatment of mild kidney failure, and again on February 17, 2012, after a pulmonary embolism. And on March, he announced the kidney problems were due to lupus nephritis. Cannon enrolled in Howard. He went back to school in 2016 and graduated in 2020 with a Bachelor of Science in Criminology. Big up Nick Cannon, right? And a minor in African American Studies from Howard. Cannon even got involved in politics. He was on the Kanye train. He endorsed Kanye. Did not know that. When he ran for president after he came on his platform. Remember, he also had the podcast, or still has it, Cannon's Class. Yeah? So we want to make sure we understand Nick's activism. He's not just a baby father, right? 2011, Canon filmed a public service announcement for Do Something, encouraging teens to find out about a cause that they were passionate about and take action in their communities. Since 2011, Canon has served as a celebrity spokesperson for the National Association of Letter Carriers. Didn't know that annual National Food Drive, which is held, in the United States, second Saturday in May. The man got a full life, so I didn't want to just keep it in the realm of, is he being destructive with the kids? Right? So we understand Nick is a person. But since 1998, Nick has had many roles, from acting to comedy. But off camera, the host of The Masked Singer has played perhaps his most important role. This is his quote. "I'm so excited about all my kids," he said to the People magazine during an interview in May. "Constantly, from every aspect of it, from them getting Citizen of the Month award to first grade to the birth of the new ones. Every day, I just wake up excited as a father." Let me read it again. "Constantly, from every aspect of it, from them getting Citizen of the Month awards in the first grade to the birth of the new ones. Every day, I just wake up excited as a father." You know what? Let me bring up Savior Black. Let me bring up Savior Black because there's so much to unpack here, Savior Black. And again, Savior Black and I are just average people living our lives with a little common sense and looking at people and saying, what can we learn from this, right? So let's take it from that aspect. And I'm going to bring him up now. Thank you so much for being here. Wagwan, Savior Black. How are you?
How we doing today? How are you doing? How's my audio? Is it all right?
You sound good to me. How you
All right.
doing? Happy Saturday. Happy Labor Day.
Happy Labor Day. Happy Saturday to you too. It's a good day. Good day.
Yeah, I'm glad you could make it, bro. We relaxing over here, just having a little light conversation. People get so tired. Why y'all talking about my bro? I mean, we're some people gonna be triggered, but I hope more people see the intent, which is actually just analyze what does this mean for society as a whole. It's not
Yeah.
about necessarily even him specific, but he is one of the more recently high-profile people living openly and boldly in our faces this way. Every time they have a maternity shoot, it's on Instagram. It's gonna make front page, right? Just because of who he is and the success he's had in his professional life, as I just outlined. So before we get into some of your comments and your thoughts, big up Savior Black. Go check out his channel. If one of my mods, please, Sunbreeze RM, if you may, please drop his channel. Go check him out. The man is a very deep thinker, especially when it comes to Black culture and Black consciousness. That's why I wanted him here today to help me kind of unpack what does this mean, right? And if it will have or already has an impact on our culture. But before we get too deep, Savior Black, please introduce yourself to the people and let them know what you do on YouTube.
Yeah, as a Savior Black, the name. I have a YouTube channel where I like to focus on talking about things or dealing with issues that are affecting the Black community as a whole, and how does those things affect us? How it is that we can. What are some of the options that are available to us, and how we can get out of some of the things that we have that's been institutionalized with us as Black people as a whole. So that's where it starts at with me. So
I love it. He has a deep, like I'm gonna say, thoughtful channel. So if you'd like to deal a little bit deeper into African American culture and why we are and what we're facing, what we face, and why we do what we do, and there's some even unemployment numbers just came out. Savior Black, I wondered if you were going to talk about that. How Black people are still double the unemployment
yes.
going into the last quarter. Oh, anyway, I read that stuff too. I find it very interesting. Big up Savior Black for being here. He's been listening quietly in the side. Before I ask him for his comments, let me just big up my chat. Big up my people watching on Jamaicans.com, watching on the Suzette Speaks channel on YouTube. Hello, hello, hello. Glad to have all of you here. I am so behind in the chat. So let me just say hello and big up a few of my people. Yeah, big up Miss AKA Lady. I'm way behind. Yes, thank you for being here. Hit me up with a Cash App. Support the stream. Thank you very much. Super chat is open. Thank you so much for everybody watching. Red Pill Awareness in the building. Big up yourself. Miss Globe Girl said, me no business. As long as he's minding them, as long as he's paying for them and taking care of them, I have other things in my life I got to deal with. I hear you. Nice. What? We know podcast. You just received a new subscriber. Salute. Thank you so much for subscribing to the YouTube channel. I really appreciate that. The world class in the building. Big up yourself. Happy Labor Day. All those celebrating. This is a beautiful weekend. Again, a fun weekend here in Miami. I'm going to ask you what you're going to do, Savior Black, in a little bit. But yeah, let me see. Miss AKA Lady says, I'm a fully involved parent. I don't see how he can split time between one of those houses and his mega career. But one of them just got a house out of it. So see, this is. Let me sip my little water. But they said, drink water, I mind my business. So you're like, there's so many places we could start, brother.
Yeah,
where would you want to start?
I guess I'll start. I'm gonna say I probably have an unpopular opinion on this one.
Tell me.
Okay, so my opinion on it is if he's taking care of his family and when I'm not talking about just the financials, the spending time with his family, being there for his kids, how that looks for us. And as you mentioned a few minutes ago when I was listening in the back about the women from overseas and in other countries such as in Africa, polygamy is something that happens over there.
Yeah.
So my primary issue or my primary concern is the family okay? And then secondary part of it is he being upfront and honest. Like you were joking about it. You're like, oh, is he gonna talk? I'm like, I think he's been pretty honest and upfront about it. Who's that?
So.
Sweetie?
I hope so.
Who's that? Sweetie tweeted out she was looking to have a baby, and he was like, he raised his hand like, hey, I'm here to do it. And this is after he's already had the multiple kids with the multiple
With
different
other
women.
women. I
Okay.
know. I
And you have,
know.
what is it? You have two of them that are due right around the same time. 9 and 10 are coming.
Within months, if not
Yeah,
weeks.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you have both. Who is it? Belle and the.
I can't. I got the names now. I
That,
did the
I'm trying.
PowerPoint with the names on them, so I'm gonna try my best to keep it in.
So
But yes. So you were saying, as long as he's taking care of him, you don't mind it.
for me, it's like I'm not. I say I'm trying to stay out of people's bedrooms to the
Yes.
best of my ability. It's not what floats my boat. Yeah, I say it's not what floats my boat as far as what I would do. I say,
Mm-hmm.
but if you're taking care of your family, so if your
Mm-hmm.
kids are okay, and the primary thing, I guess, even before the women, I know that as I'm triggering some women when I say that, but even before the women, if your kids are okay, and if you're spending time with your kids, like you said, you have the mega career, you have kids on this coach, you have kids on that coach, you're putting them up in the house, you're making sure that they're okay. Like when you go to a lot of times in court documents or when you go through a family case, a lot of men go like, well, what's all this money for? And there's child support. Well, she doesn't need all that. And it's a lot of times the judge, they'll tell you, you don't want the kids to come over your house and you're living in a mansion over here. And then they go over here and it's
And
a
they
tax.
can't get
Right.
cereal and
Correct.
dry bread for food. He has to treat all of them equal.
Correct.
I'm
So,
curious to see if he actually has any open child support cases or if they are all agreements. I think he probably doing it the latter, and it probably ain't no court paperwork in the courthouse. He probably has oral agreements, and as long as those women stay happy with what they've agreed upon, he might
and that says a lot.
be floating. Sometimes you even pay more as a man. You'd end up paying less going to get the paperwork from the courthouse. But
And
some men, I have a cousin, pick up a family who's doing that now. I'm like, he can't have money to go where he going if he actually had a child support payment. This man be on trips. And I'll be like, 2 kids? How are you affording this? Right?
mm-hmm.
Not my business. I never ask him. I'm always just thinking to myself, that's interesting. But I think they have an arrangement. I don't think he has actual paperwork with the family courts. So I'm wondering if Nick is doing that way. I don't know. I don't know if it's that way. But continue your point. So you're saying, go ahead.
I'm saying and to your point, that says a lot to me. If if there is no if you're looking at it and if there's a court appointment, okay, that's one thing. Or court paperwork that's there that they went through and they felt, and if they feel that they don't even need to get, I make a phone call. I say, hey, Nick, the kids need X, Y, and Z, and he's like, okay, got it. Or they
run me my money,
or they have soccer practice, or they're getting ready to go. Like he brags about what this one's doing, and they have, I need you at this recital. This is going to be on this date. They want to see you, and he's like, I'm there. And it's like making sure that he is present with his kids, making sure that he is there for his kids. And if they're okay with it, and I'm sitting up, and then I'm on the back end like, oh my God, I would never do that, and they're okay, why am I in their business, right? And
you're saying, so as long as the women are fully aware and in agreement, ain't nothing wrong with this.
Yeah.
That for them as grown folks, let them live their lives. I am not mad at that. That's more of a kind of libertarian, live and let live. As long as you guys are fully, y'all hit the like button. We're doing work over here. Danny G came in the chat. Fire. In Nigeria, you can have 4 wives. In Africa, they have cultures like this. I see you, Danny. Thank you. And you have almost no divorce compared to here in the U.S. I hear you. I don't know if the women are happy, but I hear you, Danny. I see on the chat, Bob Marley made it work. What y'all heard about?
I was going to bring up Isaiah Thomas.
Undefeated. I love it. Keep it coming, chat. I love it. Nigerian American. Not everybody from Nigeria is polygamous, mind you, right. But I hear your point. I hear your point, Daddy.
Not everybody's built that way. Not everybody is built that way. But
and it's cultural. When you grow up with it and you've experienced it. I think it was TTOO asked, if you were a child, would you want to be in that? I don't know.
That's a good point, right? Because if you're a child, do you know any better? Right?
You don't. You only know what exists.
Right.
If children are resilient.
Correct. That's if you grow up and your dad's over here and you say, hey, dad's over here with this other family. Okay, can I talk? I want to talk to dad. And it's like, well, call him. Or here, he said he'll be over this weekend, whatever it is. And they're like, okay, that's how that goes. I say, or it's like, hey, dad, are you coming over? I say, I'm gonna and it's like, okay, he's there. Johnny on the spot.
All they know.
Yeah,
that's all they know. But eventually you go to school. That's when people realize they're different. When you go to school and it's like, my dad is at baseball, my dad is at this. And he cannot be everywhere. If you have, just for argument's sake, not saying he has like 3 first graders, you can't be at everything for each school every time. You're going to miss a certain thing. People with just you and your husband miss stuff because of work, because of
Correct.
stuff that happens. Life happens. People cannot be. My mom worked as a nurse. She had to be at the hospital all the time. One parent had to sacrifice and be there, and one parent couldn't. It was just how we did it. So I can imagine even the more complexity, bringing more stress on each individual, on the schedules. But guess what? Gregory said, y'all need to shut up. Nick, his net worth is 45 million. So let the brother do what he's doing, as long as he's doing it equally across the board. Your point,
Yep.
Savior Black. Nobody's getting, the leftovers, the rations. As long as everybody get the same, because that's the drama. When
Hmm.
one baby mother get the house, a good house, you better have your money ready, because everybody else gonna say she got $1 million house, $5 million house. Where my five, you know what I'm saying? I think, I don't know, unless he's picking women with, like, I don't know these women. Argument's sake, low self-esteem.
Could be. I say could be. I say that was
The
that was
only
for
one that
me.
really, I mean, the other ones I did
Trinitarian.
look them up. They have careers. Some of them are DJs and different things. I was like, Mariah had that bang. Nick actually benefited from Mariah not needing anything from him.
And she went off and married a billionaire after him and divorced him. So that,
Exactly. So she good. So I don't know. Though it's very interesting.
it's
Does he still wear the turban? I didn't pull no pictures from him with the turban, but yes, I do think so. Yes, Doug says it's 2022 and our politicians are having discussions on what is a woman. After that, anything goes. No judgment from me, from Nick. Lot of mercy. I see a super chat there. Coming down to it, I'm a little bit behind. So think of the bums out there with 10 kids that can't afford any of them. Nick can pay for all his obligations. Baby mamas get in the bag for 18 to 21 years. What y'all talking about? Thank you. Yes, I heard this too. His parents are billionaires. I was trying to verify this. Have you read anything about Nick's
I
parents
have
being
not
kind of?
seen anything about his
I
parents
don't, are
being
you
dead.
talking? Are you talking about Nick? I Let me know who you talking about, Gregory, please, because I felt like I read something, then I read he lived in the hood, and I'm like, wait, I don't know if that's like a rumor. The media expects for Black men to have a bunch of baby mamas, while they expect non-blacks to marry and have children with one woman. Same story for the athletes and celebrities. So is this bad for the culture? So one thing to say, okay, live and let live. Nick is a grown man. Nick has plenty money. Nick can meet his obligations, hopefully both on the monetary, because fatherhood is not just money, it's being there. So
Mhm.
saying all that, is this a problem in terms of our representation as a culture?
Well, that was why I led with it's not about the money for me. Is he in taking care of your kids? It wasn't about just the financials. So the financials is one aspect, and he's definitely able to take care of the financials. So that, to me, that's a non-starter. We can take and we can shelf that. But the other aspect of it, the point that I was, I, I guess I did a poor job in making it, is that specifically, how is he doing as far as being able to take out that time for the kids? Like I said, they're not going to know any better. They're growing up that the dad has a, but is he there? Is he able to take that time out? Is he there for various recitals? You're not going to be able to, like you said, you're not going to be able to be there for all of them. But then again, if he's working, like you said, he has this super job that he has, and he's working all these different things with his hustle, he wasn't going to be there for all of one child, or all of two children, or all of
Right.
even three children. So as a how much as a is he taking that time in between the working and having the multiple kids? Is he taking the time for the kids? And like I said, I know it's unpopular because I know the mother's like, but me first. But it's like, if you're a father and you have and he's at that discussion, it's like, so what does it take for you? For
But
most of
he can't tuck everybody in at night. He
no,
can't
he's
read
not.
everybody a bed story.
No, no. I say, and I
He
think
can't
that
have dinner
no,
with the family every night, or as
no.
many nights as possible, I guess.
And like you said, it's cultural too. As a,
Yeesh.
I shouldn't even say well, here it would be, you're dealing with a different culture, whereas in some place where polygamy is practiced, and I've had a lot of friends, like I said, from Nigeria and places where polygamy is practiced, and talking to them about their dad. Some of them have, after they've been here for a while, they have a bad experience with it. Others who've grown up with it, they're like, that was fine. They spent plenty of time. They
Yeah,
start,
once you know different, then you're like, whoa, am I
yes,
being shortchanged, or is my dad really love me, or what? You start to have identity crisis. Some people, anyway.
yeah,
One Black Cake Queen, big up people who love the Jamaican black cake, says you probably having those for harvesting bio organs.
oh my
What?
god,
Lord
what?
have mercy. The chat is super interesting. Yes, a magnificent women. Okay, so I have more men probably as subscribers at this moment. Ladies, put a one in the chat if you would be down for this arrangement. For the ladies who are watching, big up Shumaria, Shoo Shoo in the building. Glad to see you, girl. How you doing? Talking Nick Cannon, just again, food for thought. This ain't personal. This is not a personal attack. Try to tear an ex career down. I started by saying he's a full human being with lots to be proud of, lots of accomplishments, talented as a comedian, as a host. I look up to Nick. I'm like, Nick know how to rock a crowd, right? Written shows, been in movies. As the talent goes, you can't stop Nick. Nick is hardworking. Okay. Now I get to the personal decisions Nick makes. He gonna live with them with his God. We clear on that. I don't have any heaven or hell to put Nick in. Okay. I don't want to come at that as a judgment of I'm gonna do that. I'm just more analyzing it for the culture. What will it do for us? Is it good for us? Is it something that is poisonous? Right? Again, acknowledging there are several other cultures around the world, not necessarily here in America, where this is quite prevalent and accepted. But here in the Western world, it has been kind of taboo. People have done it. Rich white men do it. Thank you, Doug. You know, why are we calling out Nick? We just happen to be talking about Nick today, guys. But yeah, there are many people.
He's our wheelhouse.
And the media gonna point out Nick. How about that?
Right. Correct.
Because again, some people get passes. We don't know why, but do we really know why? We're gonna pretend we don't know why. Okay, fine. But yeah, they're gonna point out Nick as the stereotype of a black man being a black man. Is that sad? Because I'm not saying I equate it to what a black man does. I'm saying in the media, it's like, duh. Isn't that what black men do? Make babies and go to the next woman. That's where I'm worrying. Like, is this a trend, and is it going to be, or like I said, it's been around. I'm not saying trendy as it has never happened before. I'm just saying, is it going to become more prevalent, you think, or more socially acceptable in the future?
I would hate for it to become a socially acceptable in the sense, well, if you're taking care of your kids, I don't care. But socially acceptable as in, well, just go do it, and you're not taking care of your kids. It's like, oh, look at Nick Cannon, or the one I was going to compare it or juxtaposing to is Isaiah Thomas, who, when he was playing basketball, I'm talking about the basketball player who used to play for the Detroit Pistons. He had a child outside of his marriage, and his wife found out about the child. As obviously he came fessed up for her, and between him and his wife and the baby mama, they came up with an arrangement. And to me, that arrangement was far more detrimental to the child and towards the culture than what Nick Cannon has going on.
You talking about Isaiah Thomas, the original Isaiah Thomas?
Yes.
NBA great from the 80s, 70s, is it 80s, 90s, should I say? In the 80s, 90s basketball. Big up Detroit Pistons. And what was the arrangement that he came up with?
So his wife, once he came up and he told her about the baby, the wife started handling everything with the baby mama and like making sure she got paid, made sure the child just didn't get any acknowledgement from Isaiah Thomas. So it's like the father-son relationship did not develop. It was just a monetary thing. It's like
listen, enough women been sweeping stuff under the rug from days of old, days of yore. That ain't nothing new.
No.
Keep calm and move along. What the British people say?
Keep calm and carry on.
Carry on. There we go. Keep calm and carry on. Move along. Keep calm and carry on. Listen, it was such a big, what should I say, scandal. We now don't think of it as a scandal. Before it was like a scandal on your name, especially if you were a woman of society. Scandalize our name. It was here in America. Very like, oof. People talked about you, like people now, like whatever, like people talk, whatever. But no, it was a big deal, ruining of one's reputation. You know how many people grew up with their daddy or thinking a person was their daddy and it wasn't their daddy? Because these children were moved to other families that couldn't have children, or moved to other this, or you became cousin so-and-so's child. This was not uncommon. No. We don't talk about it. Only Tyler Perry write movies about this. Okay. Listen, y'all go watch Honk for Jesus. If you grew up in the church, have you seen this? It's a new Peacock movie called Honk for Jesus, Save Your Soul. Shout out to it was her name, Regina King. She's in this movie with Sterling. I can't remember the actor's name. His name is Sterling Sharp. Oh God, I hope I got his name right. He was so fine as a preacher. It is a satirical, like, parody of mega church, black church, American life. It is a critique of why, and this again is why I'm critiquing this and saying, is this a part of our culture? And are we down with this? Is this a part of like, stamp it, approve it, it's good? Because the mega church mindset of the parishioner is being questioned in this movie, and the relationship between the husband and wife. And again, he has I won't give away some scandal. And First Lady was there to cover it up. We gave you money. Shut up. Get out of the book. I was like, God, does this happen in real life? Yes. Yes. Stand by your man is not just, oh, smile and stand by and don't divorce. It's like all the dirty work that goes into cover up.
Right.
So your point is well taken. This is in the open.
But as
Nick
it was,
ain't covering up nothing. Nick ain't hurting nobody, so to speak.
no
Some will
hypocrisy.
argue. It's not a matter of Isaiah Thomas, have a baby. I pay for him. I'm going by what you're saying, but I don't see him and he's not involved and he's not even acknowledged publicly. Wow. That's damaging. Right?
That was because the son came out afterwards. The wife and the baby mama said nothing. The baby's mother said nothing about it. And once the child hit 18, then he came out. He was trying to sue and he was trying to, because he wanted to have the acknowledgement of his father.
Oh, wow.
And that was way more damaging than was going on, because there's no hypocrisy with Nick Cannon right now. He said, I don't want to be married. He's out there actively.
Yeah, Nick is giving you straight up where he is, the facts. This is what I want to do. Do you want to do it?
And I'm there to take care of my kids. The Isaiah Thomas thing, to me, that's way more damaging for us as a community, in that now the child is damaged. The child comes up and now we have another damage. I say something else that's damaged within our community, or another individual in the community that's damaged. I say, and Nick's, like I say, I guess time is going to tell. I'm kind of waiting for the time when, what he had the two with Mariah Carey. I didn't even so he had
no, I'm gonna go over the names in a second. Y'all go watch it again. Honk for Jesus, Save Your Soul is a comment, because it's talking about the same thing in terms of family structure. Again, not that marriages are all perfect, right? 2022 American comedy film written and directed by Adama Ebo, right? Features, and I was trying to get the actual name, Regina Hall. I said Regina King, Jesus God. Regina Hall and Sterling. I said Sterling Sharp, Sterling K. Brown. I'm not the best at Hollywood, guys. I'm sorry. And I love her. She does a great job in the movie. Regina Hall, Sterling K. Brown do a fantastic job. And again, we're criticizing because we're looking at culture and saying, is this our culture? Shout out to Miss AKA Lady on the super chat, says, because I look forward to the earring. I got these yesterday, honestly. I love earrings. So because I look forward to your earring choices every show, this is for the earring fun. Thank you, sis. I appreciate that. Earrings make me pop. I love earrings. I used to be like a big necklace piece. Nah, I got 3 new earrings yesterday. Feeling good. Feeling great. And thank you for your support as always. Also, remember my Patreon. Appreciate everybody in the chat. Busy. I'm trying to get to as many. They saying Tyrese was just ready to pay $10K a month for a 3-year-old. I don't know. I don't mean to laugh, Lord. It's the shock of it. It's like nervous laughter. But that's serious. $3K a month. I saw that. That's kind of crazy. So Nick, he better keep everybody happy.
How about that? So you heard about Tyrese and everybody else. How much are you hearing about Nick Cannon being ordered to pay in any of them?
I think he has arrangements. Yeah, that might be the way around it. What is it? 8 women, or no, 5 women. Well, it's a number of women. 5 women with 10 kids. Yeah, and you have and you have no. I haven't. Nobody came out yet to say he ain't taking care of my. Even who was just in the news. Oh God, I was thinking about. I can't think of his name. I don't want to say the wrong football player. You guys are gonna laugh at me. But was it Cam Newton? Baby mama just came out, or wife, saying that somebody owes some kind of 20,000 in a water. Just Googling it. I'm sorry.
No. Because it's like, you have a lot of them out there that's doing it, and every single one of these other people.
Forgive me. I'm sorry. Cam Newton is a proud father of 7 children. Mm-hmm. Sorry. Let me say water bill. Sorry. I hope I don't want to disparage his name if it's the wrong person. NFL don't play. Ex-NFL didn't pay water bill. I just saw the headline. This is an interesting piece as I looked that up. Comment on this. Core Fact says there is more to it. Being the child of a papa that was a Rolling Stone, I didn't meet a brother and sister that I have until I was 41. So much time. So how much time do the siblings get together? We don't know. That's very interesting to ask. Very interesting. And thank you for being, open with your truth, sir. Because people I know also don't find out. I know this was a guy, he trained at my gym, was telling me about his dad. They play football against each other. Him and his half brother. Local too. Not gonna call no names. And they had so much alike, so much alike. Oh yeah, they had the same daddy. I'm talking about played each other, two different high schools,
And
and you
didn't
don't know
know.
your daddy. I had a cousin that went to school not too far from us. We didn't know that was our cousin because again, an outside child of one of my peoples. So
And
I
isn't
was
that
just
more
like,
damaging?
yeah,
I'm
it
saying, so
sucks.
in the situation with Nick Cannon, all of his kids know that they have brothers and sisters and who the mothers of the
Oh, they
brothers
could
and
Google
are.
that. They could,
Right? They has a, and he's not
I
his
don't know if they're old enough to, but they're gonna know soon enough.
has a, and it's not something that he's hiding. It's not something that he's
No.
putting away. Whereas in these other situations, we have we're talking about things that are actually detrimental, where you don't get to know your brother or your sister, your other siblings that your father had, and now you're trying to play catch up time. Imagine if you would have known
Mm,
them or known of them
mm-hmm.
beforehand, and that you could have asked your dad, "Hey, can I go spend time with my brother or my sister over here? Or I would like to go spend time with blah 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 with this one." And if the mothers are getting along, and it's like, yeah, by all means, blah blah blah, blah as a that's their family, it's their family dynamic, and it's something where there's not a hypocrisy behind it. It's not something where they're secreting it away. And so in Nick's case, like I say, to me, he's the outlier in all the other cases that we're talking about. Nick's case is one where there's an abundance of openness and transparency on what Nick is doing and how Nick is
Mm,
doing it. Nick is telling you, "Hey, I'm not getting married. I have
yeah.
these other women over here. Sweetie's on the phone. I say, if she wants a baby, I'm hopping on there and I'm gonna do that as well." And there's an openness. So
Honesty.
there's an
You're
honesty.
saying
So
he's
yeah.
open with his.
So
I hear you.
so if I'm upset with anybody, it'll be the women. It's like, that Nick has after number two. It's like if you're number three, number four, number five, there's no excuse for you hopping into this. For Nick, he's telling you, "Hey, this is what I'm doing." I say, and I'm gonna be around. I say, "This is how much time you get of mine." And if you go, "Okay, I can deal with that," then I take the onus, or the for Nick, I take it off of him. Like we were talking about the football players, that Isaiah
Yeah,
Thomas
I
is
was
always,
trying to. I'm
I'm like,
sorry, I
that's
couldn't
the
look
issue.
up
Yeah.
who baby mama mad that they didn't pay the utility bill. I'm sorry. I was reading it. It's an ex NFLer utility bill. I can't find it, and I saw the story like this week.
Yeah.
But go ahead, finish your point. Sorry to interrupt.
No, no, no. I say, but those are the individuals. When you look at them, for me, that's more detrimental to the culture, because those, like I said, you're dealing with the issues, like what the commenter said. I didn't know my siblings. I didn't know that. I grew up and I thought that this was my father, and then I learned that nah, it's really this one, and there's this lack of
Or I go to a
transparency.
funeral. He says I meet everybody at funerals. Sad.
I had that happen. I
My
watched.
family, same
I've
thing.
seen
They
that
didn't meet
happen.
till they were grown. Till they were grown. And they're cool now. They're
Yeah.
brother and sister now. Like all the father's kids now know of each other. I dated a guy once whose dad was a cab driver in Jamaica. Cab driver and police, notorious for having, I'm talking about women in different zip codes, as we would say here, different parishes. Cab driver, taximan, as we would
Uh-huh.
say, and police or soldier. No. They
Very
have, sorry, shout out to all the taximen and the police or soldier. But I know many people whose fathers were taximen, and it was always like, yeah, man, I've a sibling here. I know of someone here. Like these are the ones we know of, kind of
Mhm.
situation. Not everybody who's a taximan in Jamaica or a soldier or police run like that.
Mhm.
But I've heard so many stories that it's like, if you know, 9 times out of 10, we're like, prevalence of it is very interesting. Yes, by the way, it was Cam Newton, y'all. I wasn't wrong. Cam Newton headline said, I know I wouldn't, I was like, I don't want to say the wrong football player. Cam Newton's ex accuses NFL star of refusing to pay $20K utility bill. Where you live, sis? I don't know over what kind of period of time. Cam Newton's ex accuses NFL player, blah, 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 demands he's be found in contempt. Found in contempt. My brain is running faster than my mouth. Ex-Patriots star Cam Newton's ex has rushed to court accusing him of failing to pay the utility bill for the house where she raises his 4 kids. According to Radar Online, blah, blah, blah. Kia Proctor, the ex-wife and mother of his 4 children, asked the judge to find him in contempt of court. 20 grand. So, yeah, you see them in the news when they're not doing what they're supposed to do. But we haven't heard any kind of like,
I haven't.
you think he makes them sign confidentiality agreements? I was trying to think, how does one prevent that? Because out of 5 women, one is bound to say, you didn't give me what I needed for this baby. But none have been public about it. Let's talk about who they are. Because I looked up and I tried to get The relationships with children down. It was a little confusing for me, guys. I hope it got it in order. But he's been in the news for this. So again, this is again public comment. He don't care. He's living his life. We don't really care like that. He's living his life, but I want to know what the social implications are, the cultural implications are for this type of family life, right? Relationships and children. Nick Cannon has brought forth. Cannon has married once and had 8 children. Has had, as of today, 8 children with 5 women. Cannon has dated singer Christina Milian. I forgot about this. He dated Christina Milian. This is according to Wikipedia. Kim Kardashian, Jessica White, Salida. He was engaged to Salida Ebanks. I don't know if you remember her. She was so beautiful. Cannon married singer-songwriter Mariah Carey, 2008, at his private estate in Windermere Island in the Bahamas. April 30th, 2011, Carey gave birth to fraternal twins, boy and a girl, after 6 years of marriage, but the pair separated, filed for divorce in 2014, but reunited briefly in 2015. Whatever Nick Cannon got, let me tell you, maybe recontemplating the marriage. I don't know. Xavier Black, what he got? What he got?
Man, whatever it is he got, I say he got it in abundance.
Is it just the money?
I don't think it's just the money. I think
Nick game to pull ladies like Jessica White. I don't know if you remember her, this beautiful model, Mariah, Salida Ebanks. I'm like, this man game gotta be on 20 million and not just dollars. What kind of game this man spit to get these? These are not everyday women.
I think a lot of it probably has to do with the honesty and integrity. You know what you're getting with Nick Cannon. You absolutely, it's not there's no.
You think that's what it is?
I think so. I think that when he's talking to him, I think that he has his mouthpiece is good in the sense that
mouthpiece might be good in more than one way. Like, exactly. That alone, I don't know what he's doing.
I say absolutely. I think because he can get them and keep them. So it's not a question of whether or not he's getting them.
Somebody tell me what Nick Cannon's secret is, because I'm trying to figure out. These are like the baddest women in the game at that time.
Yeah.
Christina Milian, Kim Kardashian, Jessica White, Salida, then Mariah. Come on, man. I'm trying to think, was he at the top of his career? I don't know, 2007, 8. Golly. He was running through them. Yeah. Cannon, after the marriage, they reunited. Divorce was finalized 2016. Cannon has 2 children with, all right, let me see. This don't tell the full story. So you have 2 children with Brittany Bell, born in 2017, and a daughter born in 2020. That's Brittany. Then in 2021, he has twin sons with DJ. This was going to say DJ Abby De La Rosa. Later that month, his 7th child, a son with model Alyssa. I think I got this out already. He died. The baby that died was named Zen with Alyssa Scott. Rest in peace, and sincere condolences for that. Nobody wants to lose a baby that way. Towards the end of the year, Cannon revealed that he would be celibate for a while. Joke's on you, sir. Joke's on you. I remember that. A while. What we doing, bro? Celibate for 2 months so you can be back in the game. January 2022. Okay, Nick, I'm really joking. 2022, Cannon announced that he's expecting boy with Brie Tiesi. I don't know if I'm saying that right. In July, Tiesi announced the birth of their child, calling it a natural unmedicated birth. I saw that on Instagram. Cannon is also reported expecting 9th child due in October by De La Rosa and a 10th child by Bell. My Lord. My Lord. My Lord. My Lord. My Lord, my Lord. And so we can go into some more of the children thing. What you think about that? You think as long as you're saying as long as they know about each other and nobody got left out in the cold with the finances, it's his business.
I'm even more so for me, more important than the finances. The finances are extremely important. I'm not undercutting. I'm not degrading the finances. Even more important, at least from my perspective, is he taking time with his kids? And from all intents and purposes of what I'm seeing, everybody seems like, and I guess we'll start hearing about it once the kids get older, whether or not that's the case or not. But as far as with the women, you're not hearing any complaints out of the women. So I'm like, why am I griping and complaining and they're not complaining?
If the women good, why am I not good? Yeah, if you happy, I'm happy. I hear you. I hear you loud and clear. I'm gonna drop the link, Xavier Black. See if anybody want to come join the conversation. Then Miss Creative say Nick is handsome too with deep pockets. Which he's on the slim side. I like a little thicker than me. He's a little on the slim side. I'm just saying, not my personal preference, but he is handsome. I would agree. He's handsome. He has a cute face. And yes, so maybe he got all that because of the cute face and I don't know. Yes, you can't count Mariah. She's different. She was married. I can't Miss Creative say put some respect on the Mariah Carey. Okay. Yes. Should he stop the madness is the question, guys. I've dropped the link. If you want to come up and make any comments, I'm gonna read a few more from the chat. Nick Cannon is where the money reside, where the money reside, where the money reside. So you say they had already looked into the finances and they were like, oh, okay, we'd love to go on a date with you. So I don't know if it's yeah. Sorry. Got a little colorful there. Sorry, Miss AK. RM, we could be a little cheeky here sometimes, guys. Please forgive me. Suzette, do you think this is a competition between Nick and Elon Musk? To repopulate the earth? Should he repopulate? Listen,
Nick is all natural.
We was going to the moon. I'm sending them to there because they're gonna make sure. They're gonna make sure we stay as a human race enshrined due to their consistent efforts to make sure we have more human beings than we're existing 9 months ago. But let me see. A says when the money finish, the women would talk. Drink water and mind my business.
I'll wait. I say that again. I'm waiting to see. Because
everybody has been really quiet. Everybody, because I was like, I wonder if he has confidentiality agreements with these ladies. It's very quiet, unusually quiet.
I'm wondering for
go ahead.
Because I'm thinking for public policy, for policy reasons, I don't know if you can have an NDA that would.
That's what I'm wondering, because I'm like, how? No, you could. Would you have a non-disclosure for a baby?
Yeah, I say that you can't talk about the fact that you have a baby.
Or I would say it might be attached to a payment agreement.
That could, okay, now that might.
In reference to you receiving 10 grand a month, let's just put a number. That is not true. We are just speculating, just making up for argument's sake. If I give you 25 grand a month, you cannot disclose to the media. You cannot go to any media outlet. You cannot share pictures. You cannot, I don't know, without approval, blah, blah, blah. Maybe. I could see it being attached to something like that. A says the women don't speak out because they're receiving monthly funds and gifts. Diddy was buying new cars for his baby mama. These are women still schmoozing and rubbing shoulders with the wealthy. All right. Yes, this was it. I was looking it up. That's his Cam Newton's ex-girlfriend, who he had a whole football team with. Jesus. I couldn't remember who it was. I'm definitely going live about this next as the world class. Hold on. Daddy G said y'all need to come off of this. Big up Daddy G. I've seen all the comments. Daddy G was lit. Catholic slave masters teaching you monogamy. Research it. I hear you. Thanks for your opinion. Yes, I was shocked at that. Yeah, I'm really, thank you so much. I appreciate you, Sun Breeze. I don't know, ladies. I didn't see no ones in the chat. I was going back looking for ones in the chat, seeing if any woman would be agreeable to this kind of. I just cannot see myself not getting jealous. I'm not built to be no sister wife. Like, I'm not.
There's a lot of women.
Again, I was raised in a traditional, Christian value home, so that's what I know. So if I'm like, could I live in like even a commune and all of us live together, or would I be okay as long as my house was taken care of, me and my baby, I'm good? I don't have a concept of that seems loving and healthy. That does, again, that's my own limitation. I just want to confess that's me, where my mind is. So I can't fathom this being okay for me, because again, I can't even picture that. Like, I would be like, well, your husband at a family gathering, oh no, he's with Brenda. Hell? Like, I can't be like, is it the judgment I'm ashamed of? No, but I'm still mad. You should be at the family gathering with me. Why are you at Brenda's family gathering? Whatever. I couldn't do it. I don't know if I could. And again, it's not a judgment of them. I'm just saying where I am spiritually, emotionally wise, bro. I would feel embarrassed. Me personal. I'm not saying they should. I'm just saying what I would feel.
Yeah.
I would feel embarrassed and like almost like unloved. Partial love. I don't know. I don't think I can do it. Saber, you would see yourself in this type of
No. I'm saying because everybody has, and I can say from doing mediations and seeing different ones, and then also experiencing it like from my time in the military, that different people have different ideas of what that means to feel loved and appreciated. And what is important to me as far as what it would take for me to feel loved and appreciated, and what I think that my mate would need, blah 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 blah, is different from other people. Because there was well, this wasn't even a mediation. This was a individual I knew.
Mm-hmm.
Him and his wife. His wife, I got mad because her logic was, it was hard for me to refute her logic. It was a white couple, but it was just one of these things that uh she as a she had friends that she had that he was allowed to go sleep with aside from her because she didn't always feel like having sex all the time. Didn't make any sense to me. And I sat down and I talked with them about it because I was talking to her because one day as I was dropping him off, coming back from we had duty, I said we had duty together, and I'm dropping him off. He calls me real quick and asked me if I can come pick him back up and go drop him at one of the friends that the wife got. And when I talked to him, we had a command picnic, and I'm talking to her like, why would you? And she was like, well, she looked at it from the same perspective that sometimes she doesn't like cooking, so she'll outsource that and get food as they have people cook as they cook for them that she doesn't want to cook. Same thing with sometimes she would get maid service to come in there and come fix the house because she doesn't feel like doing the house. She was a stay-at-home mom. He says sometimes she don't feel like having sex, and she has friends that she would have him have sex that she can have that she felt comfortable enough to know that it wasn't going to get out there to everybody else, and she felt comfortable that it was going to be safe, that he wasn't going to bring anything back home, and she felt safe that they were going to abide by the rules that he had to wear a condom. And I was like, what? I didn't like it. But at the same
time, we don't get this. As Sir Hill Speaks would say, this conversation has taken a turn.
Yeah, because I'm listening. I'm like, but that just. But so, you're okay.
Let me make sure I understand what you just said. Take the wait. Let me. So you're saying, just at an argument's sake, a mediation couple.
This wasn't a mediation. That's if it was
just a random person. Okay, random. You don't know. We're not gonna say anybody that you know. Okay, so they had an arrangement. Husband and wife.
Husband and wife. Yes.
That husband could go be with other people.
Kids.
With two kids.
With two kids. They'll know who I'm talking about if they're watching this. I'm not going to.
Hold on. So the husband, as long as he let her know.
No. Sometimes, like the day that I had to go pick him up, she didn't want to have sex that day. She told him, I'm not going to mention the other lady's name, and it was up in Connecticut. Oh, I'm like, oh, that's
okay. No.
Anyway,
so
but anyway,
she has to give him an okay, and he says, okay, I'm going to go take care of it with Lisa.
Essentially, so it's like she was like, I already called Lisa. Lisa's expecting you. She was in the middle of cooking. She was like, dinner will be ready at this time. Lisa's expecting you. I don't feel like he walked in trying to be all loving and amorous. She was like, I don't feel like it today. I already talked to Lisa. Lisa's expecting you. Go hit up Lisa. He hurries up and calls me. I was 2 blocks away. I was heading back. He was the last person from the boat that I dropped off, and I'm heading back home. And he calls me up. And he's like, can you come pick me up? I'm thinking I'm gonna take him to the hotel or the motel. I'm thinking that they had a fallout and he's gonna go spend some time and he needs some cooling off time. I had to go drop him off at these apartments, and he was telling me, he said she don't feel like it today. So she has like you said, so Lisa, she said,
so she outsourced her man
and so
her marital duties to Lisa. Jesus.
And I was like, I didn't understand it, so I figured, I was like, because we talked about it again next time we had duty or whatever, and I was like, I'm gonna ask her at the command picnic because we had.
I feel secondhand shame. I'm like uncomfortable. I'm like, what they doing in the streets? Yeah, my throat feel tight. What? I don't understand.
So when I look at Nick Cannon, I'm like, okay, well, that's one of those situations where
so you're saying, as long as that it is an example as long as you have consenting adults, anything is fair game, as long as both people are fully aware, open and honest, and in agreement.
I'm out of their bedroom. That was around the time when I had to start getting my mind around. I got to get out of people's bedrooms because
so what they do in their bedroom, as long as they're okay with it, we got to leave them alone.
I'm saying, if like I said, and with Nick Cannon, I'm looking at the situation that all of these women, I'm not hearing from any of these women. Like you said, you hear about it from Cam Newton, you'll hear about it from Isaiah Thomas, you hear
a bunch
more. I'm hearing, and Nick Cannon, I'm not hearing anything from any of the women or any of the kids. And I'm gonna sit there. If everybody's, and again, for me, my thing is, are the kids okay? Yeah. And he was able to spend time with his kids. His kids and my kids went to the same school, and he was there with me when we were out. If we were out to sea, obviously we couldn't be there. Would be with our kids when they're having various events. But if we weren't out to sea, come back and kids are okay. We're going to be there at this event. And he's fine, and the kids are fine. His wife is fine. I'm divorced. He was still married last time I checked, and I'm like, and I know what your arrangement is. I'm staying out of the bedroom.
All right now. Well,
Yeah.
I appreciate you sharing that anecdote.
And again, that's anecdotal. I say that's not everybody. And like I said,
I appreciate you sharing that opinion and that
so
anecdote.
and as
Let
we
me
talk
read
about
this super chat.
Nick being an outlier. Nick's the outlier. All these other guys, that's the norm on how people do it. And that's the other ones. If we were talking about them, I'm like, yeah, that's bad for the culture. Nick, I'm looking at Nick and I'm going, everybody else is out of it. Everybody else is okay. Why's my
Okay.
shit tight? Right? It's like,
So
why am I
you're saying
tight about this?
he's still married, I'm not. His kid's good, I'm not. So why am I a judge or why am I in their bedroom?
Yeah.
I hear your point of view and that story's illustration. I get it. I
Yeah.
get it. Wow. So let's not have everybody kind of jump on a bandwagon. Look at where your life is, their life is. If this is what two consenting adults seem to agree upon, and if it's not quote hurting the kids, let's keep it moving. Interesting.
That,
Interesting. Interesting.
that's exactly where
Thank
I'm
you
at.
for that. Now you got me, and I'm like food for thought. Andrew Walker, big up New York in the building on the big super chat saying, "Hey Suzette, if the runway is open, the plane will signal plane or the signal plane." Okay, he said you got two air traffic controllers out here. I'm over here sit on my dress. Listen, you got two the runway, y'all saying come hither, and you don't expect the man to come land a plane? Thank you for that analogy. I'm leaving on the next plane. Suzette likes big man. Okay, taking notes all up. I just don't like skinny skin. I'm a thick person. So I can't deal. That's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. I can't be bigger than you. That's how I feel because I'm thick. I don't, ladies, do you feel like that? I don't know. Sometimes you see it in Jamaica. They have this saying called the Jack Sprats, which is the big woman. The Jack Sprat syndrome is like the heavy, big boned, luscious queen, and the skinny man that you'll see her with. That's not uncommon, but that ain't me. I need a
Yeah, that's
little,
not mine. No.
yeah. Help protect me, please. Let's
Yeah, yeah.
go. Not that Nick can't do his thing. I'm just saying my own preference. I'm like, nah, bruh, no, we're not doing that, bruh. We gotta have. Let me read some more comments because I'm gonna drop the link once again. If you want to come up and voice your opinion, this is an open mic forum. All you have to do is click on the link that you'll see where it says join the conversation in the chat. And you can click that link, come on up, say your piece, whether or not this is a duel. This is what Andrew is saying. Everybody's saying, I hear some in the chat say the women have equal responsibility.
I did.
So when you say
I
the
agree.
runway is open, I don't have to break down the analogy, but women who are entertaining foolishness will get foolishness if you think this is foolishness. But others say this has been practiced in other forums, other cultures. America, you're late. So if this is a working agreement, working arrangement for them, kids seem to be happy and healthy. Again, they're young though.
Mm-hmm.
5-year-old, we don't know yet how they're gonna come out, right? They're not able to react. But yeah, the saga continues of who is having what baby when. Go ahead, Savior Black.
I was gonna say let's switch that up. That not just the analogy, but you mentioned earlier about some places like in Nigeria. We'll use Nigeria specifically, where they have polygamy, right? And polygamy is openly practiced.
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine if you are somebody who grew up, like you're talking about the cultural aspect of it? If you grew up and you have your mother, you have the one dad, but you know your dad has multiple families, right? And your dad decides that he's going to come to the Americas where they don't have polygamy, and he wants to bring his 3 wives and his kids, and he wants to take care of his family. He wants to bring them all on over, and he gets over here, and you're one of the kids from one of those wives, and he gets that choice at custom, like only one of these can be your wives. The rest of them, as the other two,
They're
cannot
gonna be
be.
cousins.
Yeah, as the other two. I said,
Jesus
how would you feel
Christ.
coming over to a new place? I say all your life that's been normal, everything around you that's been
Right.
normal, and
But
all of a
new
sudden you
cultural
get here,
norms here, yeah.
yeah, and the cultural norms here says, yeah, that's horrible. Even though let's say you're 15, 14, 15, you're in high school, you've grown up with this your entire life with your dad. Now everybody's sitting there, they're degrading you, they're degrading you. I say, why would your mother put up with this? Your mother's a horrible person because she da 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 da. I say, is that your dad? Why is your dad here at your volleyball game? And he's sitting up here like he ain't got two whole other families. You should be ashamed of your da, 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 da,
Kids
da, da.
mean though. Kids
Yeah, I think
mean.
But I'm saying, but looking at it from that perspective, if you
Right.
flip it,
Right.
why am I in their bedroom? They were okay before we started and they were fine as a family. They all understood what that dynamic was. I didn't have to understand it, and I didn't have to like it. It's
Right.
not my dynamic. It's not in my it's not how my family's growing up. It's not what I have. Why am I going to sit there and go crap on them and their family and how it is their dynamic is? And so, like I said again, if all the kids were okay and everybody's fine, I'm staying out of it. If the women are like, I have enough money, it's like, you can get. It's kind of like you're in a mediation, or at least for me, it's like I'm looking at it. I know what the law states. They have their attorney. The other party has their attorney, and and their attorney even tells them, "Hey, you're actually entitled to X amount more." And they go, "No, but I just wanted to get it over with." And I say, "I'm okay. I know what I'm leaving on the table, but I'm okay with that. I just want it all." I say, "I want this done." And so you're going, "That's not the deal I would cut." And I'm not here your attorney's already your attorney gave you all the legal information, and you said you're still willing to cut that deal. I'm gonna go draft up an MSA, and I'm gonna draft it up exactly the way you said. And I look at the
Yeah.
same everybody's knowledgeable. All these women know
You're
about
like, as long as it's disclosed. That's my attorney. I love that disclosure. Was there disclosure? Like, as long as it's disclosed. We got to guess. JT, what we want to know podcast. I'll bring you up just shortly. Some says, get the likes up. RM doing work. Thank you so much. My moderators are getting Save Your Blacks channel out there. Y'all, please come through. Danny G in the back. Okay. Y'all want to make it a forum? That's fine with me. My speakers are ready to speak. Let's go. I'm again curious to your opinion. Nick Cannon going to live his life. Don't think we're here like telling Nick Cannon what to do, right? Mind your business. I hear you. I hear my Jamaicans in the background. Mind your business. Mind your business. I get it. But it's an understanding of, it does have an impact on people and children and the culture. So we're not gonna. Somebody, why are they dropping nudie day insights in my chat? Somebody, please delete that. Moderators, please. Why are they spamming? You see this? Block this person, please, guys. Thank you. I don't know who that is. Okay, we must be hitting the algorithm. But check out Save Your Blacks channel. He has a lot of interesting shows. Black thought at its finest, understanding what's going on in our economics, our culture, and all this other stuff. Coming back. Thank you, Sunbreeze. I don't know where these people find me at, but let me bring up JT. How you doing, JT?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well.
I'm so happy to
How you
see
folks
you,
doing?
first timer. Glad to have
Yes.
you here. How
I
you
was just
doing?
on Bernard
You was on
S's
Bernard's-
show. Yeah, so he shouted you
Nice.
out. So yes, absolutely.
Nice. Danny G dropped off. Danny, come back when you're ready. Save Black, would you be okay with a woman that had multiple men? And you were on the roster. Just curious. See, I love Ace. Ace B, gonna make sure we should
That's two questions. First question is yes, I'll be okay. Second question is no.
You would be on a roster with one woman with.
No. I say if she had a roster with multiple men, I'm okay with that. Second question was a no. I'm not on her roster, right? He
said clarify.
Yeah,
if they agree with her, that's her business. But I'm not going to be on the roster.
I'm trying.
JT,
okay.
Go ahead.
No, I'm trying to think. Okay, so because this wasn't me. I was like, So I've known of people that there was a guy who enjoyed watching his old lady
do her thing with other men.
Do her thing with, and he would sit there and line up other men for his old lady.
Christ, we're gone with this. Okay, and
I'm like, that's not me. I say, but I'm not mad at you. What you? I say that's your life.
As long as there's disclosure, people have accepted it.
It's to me. I'm not gonna say worse. I almost said worse. It's different than this disclosure because he's actually the one out there facilitating and making sure that there's other people coming here come do his own.
A lot of people doing a lot of things in marriages, bro. That's a whole nother show, though. Let me ask JT what's good. Jeez. This show has taken a turn. So, JT, you've been patiently waiting and hopefully listening. Yes. First of all, tell me about your show. You have a YouTube channel?
Yes, it's called What We Know.
What We Know. Excuse me. Cool.
Still problem. It's me and my host. Pretty much the same thing you guys are talking. We did the show on Nick Cannon probably about 3 months ago.
No way.
Yeah.
Late? Is that what you Just kidding. So what were your conclusions when you did your show or even now? What are some of your thoughts on him?
Well, because I do follow Nick Cannon more than just him being in the limelight, he has a podcast himself where he had it when he was going attending Howard University, and it was called Cannon's Corner. And so in Cannon's Corner, he talked to a lot of guys, KRS-One. He talked to a lot of philosophers, and they always went back to this whole thing of creating a community. And what they were talking about was the whole this whole thing of polygamy. And Nick already was setting out to do this. He was telling a lot of these guys, he was like, I want to have as many children as possible. He was like, I can't do the whole marriage thing with one woman. It just wasn't, according to what he was saying, it just wasn't conducive. He didn't want to be someone that was labeled as a cheater. So he wanted to be more transparent, and he wanted to be more, where he wanted to have multiple women, but that wasn't the thing that he was talking about. He was saying, as far as like his lifestyle, he didn't see it when it came down to him being a one woman husband
and whatever.
Yeah. And he did this, and this is where he actually looked at it when him and Mariah was together. So they get along very well. And they did, even when they got the divorce, it was more of a mutual thing because, it was just their lifestyle.
Yeah. He had disagreements about how. Let me just acknowledge Gregory Nicholson on the super chat. Thank you so much for the love, brother. No comment, no question, just love. Thank you so much. Go ahead, JT.
So, and then she it was a lot on her body to have those children that they already have together. So, and he wanted more children, but he didn't think that,
she could
I'm
give
just
it
not
to
going to
them.
be family with her.
Yeah.
So they're still family just as well. She's just as involved with his children and the women that he's in contact with. These are not women that he's setting out just to get them pregnant. These are women that he's actually picking. These are women that have sat down and they've actually talked about how they wanted to do this. He's building a community.
So let me ask, because you seem to be very knowledgeable about this. So do the kids get together? The kids know each other? Do you know?
Of course.
And the women are collegial?
And the women are instrumental in it. It's not just him. This is a community he's building. This is not one man getting women pregnant and now he got to run around and try to be daddy to all the children. This is a community. These women all know each other. They all know each other's children. They all are surrounding each other and the children also. This is not one of those things where, he's
the architect and nobody else is in on it. You're saying this is almost purposed, visionary, planned out formation of community.
Absolutely.
Interesting. You use the word community a lot. So he was talking about this from his days in 2016 at Howard.
Yes.
So that's
post This was
Mariah.
All the way up until he graduated.
Okay, and then that's 2016 to 2020. Interesting. So he has always been public even before some of the kids were born, besides Moroccan and Monroe by Mariah, that wasn't going to be his lifestyle. He could not maintain that type of lifestyle, or he doesn't think it makes sense or whatever. I've not heard those conversations. I'll be interested to hear some of those podcasts and go back and listen to them. So your conclusion is that the women are more than willing, from what he spoke about, to be in this type of scenario?
Absolutely.
Did he talk about whether he was equally, giving the same amount of money to people, or did he speak about the financials at all?
Yes. So one of the things that he was saying is that any woman that has the women he talked to, they don't have to worry about anything. They're taken care of for life. He's going to take care of them, and he's going to take care of the children. That's exactly what he said.
So, okay. So he done created a rule book and a set the plays, and these women was on the team from day one. Like, yay, we're going to do it. I'm interested in this. Ace Butterfly, another gentleman who comes on the show sometimes as a guest, Canadian-born Nigerian, says he is a product, I didn't know that, of polygamy. I didn't know that. Polygamy, all women live in the same compound. Interview. I'm going to go back and ask him about it, because that's an interesting topic in and of itself. So yes, Danny G, come back if you want to. I know you were on your phone. The right word is polygyny, to legally marry 2 or more wives. Most countries are okay with 4 ways: Africa, Asia, and the Middle East, where the Bible and Jesus was born. I hear you. He keeps saying, y'all acting like this is new. So let me ask you. So was it his divorce? Did he go ahead, Saber Black?
I was gonna say that he's correct in that polyandry, or there's 2 terms up under polygamy. One is polyandry, which is one woman with multiple husbands, and then there's polygyny, the one that he pointed out, one husband with multiple wives. Both of them are polygamous. So the term polygamy,
I wasn't incorrect. Thank you, Danny.
Yeah, no, you weren't.
But to be more specific, it would be whether it's a woman is the single partner and the multiples are men, or vice versa.
Yes. So you can break those out up under polygamy. 2 different terms, but if you say polygamy, you're still correct, right? So
thank you for schooling me. Thank you, Danny G. Get me right. Links in the building. How are you? Link says, was Nick's move towards polygamy birthed out of the pain of his divorce, or even growing up as a single, or was he based on what?
There was no pain. There was no pain in his divorce. The pain was while he was married, and the divorce was, that was the alternative, because they didn't want to have each other. They didn't want to have each other bogged down with all of these different. This is the reason why the man that she ended up being with, he couldn't handle it, because on Christmas and on holidays, her and the children spent time with Nick.
I remember that.
Yeah, they spent time with him.
Yeah, I remember that was because he was a billionaire that she married. And he was upset about the fact that she did spend a lot of time with
Nick. Messy. How you have a husband? You talking about when she has a husband, she was still spending holidays with Nick because of the kids?
Yes.
Because they looked at each other as family. They literally look at each other as family.
The kids want to have their daddy
You're
around.
married to a new man.
And the kids want their daddy around, which is Nick.
And it's the holidays, Christmas and whatnot. So I get that kids need or should be able to be with family, fathers, or vice versa, on a holiday, but you have a new husband. I think you still got to entertain, make sure the kids are good.
So let's reverse that, because Nick, we talking about what Nick's situation with the other women. My understanding, and I could be wrong to say so, JT, you correct me if I'm wrong on this. Sound like you have a lot more information than I do on this.
Yeah, me too.
My understanding is that during the holidays, Nick spends the holidays with all of his kids. And all the women are there helping to bring all the kids together. That the family is there together, and so there's not like one kid. Like he's only going to be here with. He's going to has 5 different women. So he has 5 once every 5th year. Instead of once every 5th year, you get Nick. All of us get together. You have these brothers and sisters that I have with these other women. We'll all get together. Did I understand that correctly?
So everybody get together. Everybody get together on the holidays. That's
absolutely
true.
And you're talking about somebody that's super. He is super busy,
but he makes sure his people are together.
Yeah, they catch planes like most people
like
catch
we
Ubers.
use cars. Yeah, you catch an Uber. So my brother Danny, before I lose you, Danny, because I know you were in the back before. You sound like, or you look like you're moving. You want to take a moment and share your opinion, Danny? You've been busy in the chat. I think I know how you feel, but go ahead and unmute yourself and let me know how you feel. Welcome. Good to see you. Danny, Danny, can you unmute? Danny, can you unmute?
There we go.
Yeah, okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes. How you doing?
I need to get quickly. I'm on my way doing something, but I wanna. That's a great subject. I wish you would talk more about that subject because it's big and it's really important. It's really important. I'm not gonna talk a lot because I'm in a rush, but give me 3 minutes to elaborate what I'm gonna say. Then I'm just flying like a bird. Okay, please.
Okay.
Can you hear me well?
Of course. Go ahead.
Yeah. What I want to say it's an interesting topic, very interesting, because I do know in America. When it comes to world history, we have limited knowledge. It doesn't mean we cannot learn more about the world, but it's not really necessary since the entire world is look at the United States of America, world first country. The dollar, everything. All eyes on America. So American think you guys don't have a need 52 really to really learn about other culture. That's why I say a lot of you American are a little bit brainwashed about outside of America. The thing used to be, especially polygyny and monogamy. The real our culture is polygyny. It is not monogamy. And we have to look to see where monogamy comes from. Even in the Bible, now I don't want to talk a lot. Not even one prophet has one woman. And there is no verse in the Bible where God say in his law, even in 10 Commandments, that a man have 2 wives, you commit adultery. Even God tell David, why did you do that? God hate the idea of a man commit infidelity, the idea of a woman commit infidelity. Example, like King David go and take somebody else's wife. And in the law of God, the first 5 books in the Old Testament, they have the law of God, how he wants people to be. And when Jesus came, he never denied God's law. He added to it, he make it stronger, but he never denied. Let me finish in 1 minute. So God said, David, if you ask me more wife, I could have give you more wives. Why did you do this? See, just to prove you that. And there is no verse also in the New Testament when God said, and Jesus said, oh, my mission is, hey, have one woman. Because when Jesus said, have your own woman, is the same idea with God principle, which is do not take somebody else's wife. Have your own woman, 1, 2, or 3, whichever you can afford. And also in the Bible, New Testament, Jesus also mentioned if. Jesus mentioned also, if a man, if you have a kids, you don't take care of it, you worse than a Christian. Right. And we should consider, you should get rid of you in the church. And I know people don't teach stuff like that. Get rid of you in the church. A bad man is someone who have a kids. You have kids, you don't take care of the woman, you don't take care of the children. You're really bad. That's what God.
Lord, Danny,
I got what he said.
He was on fire. The Wi-Fi don't want you to be great. Does it say in the Bible, have as many women as you can afford? Thank you, Danny. Or does it say that in the Quran? Does it say in the Bible?
Well, okay, so in the Bible, there's 2 things when I'm thinking specifically with Jesus, and this he's going back to the law, because in the law they lay out.
You talk about Genesis,
for polygamy,
Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy.
Right. And but when you're going through the law covenant, they lay out the rules for polygamy. So polygamy is actually in the law covenant, and I have to go back.
In which book? Y'all help me out.
Give me now you're gonna make me have to go.
Let me Google.
But the one I was thinking of is what most people think about when they think about the Bible.
In the Christian Bible.
In the Christian Bible, one of the things that what most people think about with Jesus is that he talks about God created it as a man and a woman. Just that was how he intended it, was a one man.
Okay, let me get Danny last 30 seconds, Danny. Danny back. Last 30 seconds, Danny. Go ahead.
Yeah, please give me 1 minute. Let's wrap it up. Let's finish. So the idea, let me influence Nick Cannon lifestyle. He did the monogamy. He's honest. It didn't work. I wasn't happy. I wasn't really get the plenty of sexual, because we have to understand men nature. Do you know why they don't teach that at school? The whole idea. Do you know why Black people are the true Israelite? I don't want to go into details. That's why we've been persecuted from right to left, from many different people are in power. That's why if you look at the culture in America, a lot of things going against us, because we are special. Your skin is special. Your hair is special. Let me kill you right there. Do you know now people who have rich billionaires, they betting big money, billion on our Black people's skin, on our skin. They said our skin, you can Google this. Black women's skin worth more than gold and diamond. And you see big company, people with billion that want to invest. Goldman Sachs invest billion, trillion on Black women, the skin. It is so much. Let's finish. So I'm okay with Nick Cannon as long as, because this is better than one guy that have 2 kids with 2 different baby mama, and you're a deadbeat dad. You don't take care of them. They're suffering, right? You don't take care of them. You bad. Versus a man that have 4 wives and taking good care of them, and his children have stability, and they probably don't need government help, because 4 of us working, the man is working, all the 3 women, they're doing the part-time job, you're working, put all money together, 50, like $200,000. You don't need no government, but you qualify. You don't need food stamp, nothing. You can invest and live, go in build your own community far away from the city, and you can travel. You have plenty of money. You're good to go. Thank you. So I'm not against it.
Say your piece, Danny G. Say your piece. Danny G, the internet said that's it. Drop the mic.
They were holding on. The internet was holding on for dear, for all the might.
I love the points, though. Strong feelings, strong sentiments from my boy Danny G. My man Danny G said everywhere from the Bible to talk about having multiple in the law. I have to go do my research and laying out the rules and how Black people got special powers and powers in their skin. I didn't want to get too deep into that. But the main idea being, as long as you are taking care of yours and you're not worthless and deadbeat and bringing kids into a life of strife, struggle, poverty, let that man be. And instead, you celebrating men who perhaps are actually, creating what should I say, legacies that are built on, not taking care of emotionally. I'm talking about financially, spiritually, they're youngins. And there are men that are getting a pass, even though they're not doing those things. I'm going to get JT and Savior Black, your comments on what Mr. Danny G just shared. Thank you again, Danny G, for sharing your opinion.
Yeah, I enjoyed his opinion. I love the way that he laid that out. Because again, when I was going back to the biblical standpoint on it, Jesus talks about a man having, or God intending it from the beginning, being a husband and wife, right? But then he also talks about after that, what is that in Matthew the 22nd chapter, where if
Deuteronomy 2:17-17.
Okay, so that's
Deuteronomy. Let me Google.
So that's in the Old Testament, but I was talking about here in the New. One of the things that he talked about was he gave an analogy about a man and a marriage feast, and the virgins that were coming to meet him, and the ones that didn't have the oil, they went on off. And initially, you might be thinking, oh, he's just coming for one. Jesus is giving this analogy; it's only going to be for one. But then you look at it, or when you finish, you get to that entire analogy. You look at it, it's like, wait, the story he's telling, the bridegroom came in and took all the women with him. In that analogy, this was from Jesus, right? So a lot of people go like,
Danny, like that kind of is saying that as long as you don't take nobody else's wife, it doesn't say specifically in the Bible only to have one wife.
Yeah, that says it's the optimal way. That's the way it's intended, to have just one wife. But you definitely you don't take nobody else's wife. And the preference is to only have one wife. But if you have more than one wife, if you can take care of them, if you're not taking care of them, that's where a man who doesn't take care of his family is worse than a person without the faith, is what the Bible.
Yeah,
my Lord. Yeah. I'm trying to read that. What did you say? Deuteronomy 17:17?
Yep, 17:17. And he shall not acquire.
Oh, this is from Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Hold on, let me get into a different New International. Says, go ahead, read what you see.
And he shall not acquire many wives for himself, lest his heart turns away, nor not he acquires for himself excessive silvers and gold.
So that's saying opposite.
Yeah.
No, that's what I was saying when he was saying that, what it was saying against it.
Oh, okay. So it's there against it.
Yeah.
But as you go on, in the Bible that says that people should have many wives?
No, it said you should not, but then he also makes hold on, because he also talks about in the law covenant.
Okay, so I'm glad you pointed this out.
If you have more than one wife, how are you supposed to take care of those wives? That was one.
If you have.
Yeah. The preference is not to. The preference is I
was confused. I was like, am I reading the same Bible? Like, where am I?
No.
I clearly did not know. Deuteronomy 17:17 says he must not take many wives, or his heart will be led astray.
And that's what Solomon.
But I guess that would make sense for the Bible, because I'm sure it's that time there were a lot of converts. So there were people that probably came into the faith who already had multiple wives. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, or different, maybe even, I don't know. I was just thinking about, they didn't really have many sects, sects, but culturally, the different regions around that world, Corinth, that they might have had different practices.
It was definitely different
when it was prevalent in that time. Yeah, interesting. Getting the Bible lesson. Y'all hit the like button. We doing work over here. What's up? Shout out to Danny G, bringing in the scripture and everything else. Danny G said, "Get it together, Black people. This is who you are." Shout out to Akabulan and all of the history behind the Africans who were taken here to the West. And we're interested. I don't know. I didn't expect to go way back and be like Nick Cannon actually going back to prophet times. So y'all wrong in your assessment. But it's an interesting perspective to say that if you look culturally at indigenous and African roots, spiritual, whatever you want to call it, practices, this was not unheard of. And then again, in a lot of other religious sects and cultures that are Indonesian and other places, you'll find it. You'll definitely find it. So we're not saying the practice is necessarily a right or wrong practice. I'm asking again, in the American context of today, African-American family is struggling to stay alive in my heart. We have great families. We have great middle-class families. We have people who are doing right every day, raising good kids every day. But I tell you, family is complex and it's not perfect, right? I've already talked about that. But I'm just wondering, is it and I guess I can't say a trend because it's already here, but is it something that is becoming more socially acceptable, or should it be more socially acceptable? And I hear the argument, as long as the kids are paid for and treated well and get access to love and care, time and affection. I get that. Should we just turn the other cheek and say it works for them, let it go?
Well, I don't know. This is the thing. You got to also keep in mind that although it was accepted, very few men could actually obtain that because they weren't able.
Couldn't afford it.
Right. So this is the whole concept of how monogamy and the way that the Western world look at marriage now. They have marriage and they pair it with monogamy. And a lot of times it comes from a lot of men that couldn't actually afford to have a lot of wives.
Right.
So you had one man that would take, and like they say in the Bible, that you should never cover another man's wife. Mm-hmm. But you had men that were doing that. So this is where these laws started.
Clearly it existed. They had to say, stop coveting her. Somebody was tipping and dipping from them days around the corner with people's wives. So stop doing it. And
so we it's shunned. Look at how we look at polygamy now. Mm-hmm. It wasn't looked that way. It wasn't looked like that before because of look at the ideologies that we all have.
So we have a strong kind of overlay, a cultural overlay now, a westernized, Americanized, we got to put it in our context, that looks down upon this so-called lifestyle, who in general, the majority of the population feels uneasy, if not rejecting outright this as a potentially healthy way of living and raising kids. I get you what you're saying. Conceptually, it's not, we in America are like, what? That is like, so we can't, we have a difficult time processing the possibility that it can be something that is healthy or acceptable or at least, chosen by well-adjusted consenting adults. We have a problem because we automatically think that's evil. And again, maybe because of our Judeo-Christian roots, Catholic roots, these parts of us that have been, very, especially in the Black community, cultivated to believe now over the last 500 years, nope, this is how we do things. Thank you very much. And that's being close to God. So nobody can argue with it, right?
Absolutely.
I hear you. I'm going to go over a couple more points. Go ahead, Savior Black.
I was going to say, think about the execution also. That's the other side of that coin, right? So the execution traditionally within our community, and this is where going towards, is it beneficial towards the community or not? The execution traditionally has been a very selfish, self-centered aspect of it. It's not communal, not community-based, not thinking about the kids or the children or the woman. Okay. And everybody takes it as in, well, I can have X amount of women, but then they don't do the second part to it, which is, can you take care of them? And if you're in that relationship, did she feel taken care of? Well, she should have, but I felt that she was taken care of, so she should feel it, right? And so you start taking that aspect of it. Did you actually take care of your kids? Did you take care of your wife? Did you do these things? If you have more than one, you're saying that you had the money to do it. Were you spending time? Did you do these things that you were supposed to do with your family, or did you just go, well, I can do it? And then on the other side of that is the women. Well, I'll just take on. I say I'll be baby mama 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. And you have this aspect that we've had within our community, and people actually not being taken care of. They're actually, the second part of it, they're not doing. Everybody wants to do they see this first. Oh, I can have sex with a lot of women. Oh, great, that's what I want.
But you have the responsibility for those women and those kids. That's the next part. Everybody is jumping for joy with the access, but that's just the first part of that very long journey of taking care of that families. I remember there was a joke. I don't know if you guys remember. This was in Afghanistan. White reporter I forget, I think it might have been a British news agency, met a gentleman and was asking him how many wives he has. And he was saying something like, you know, he would say 15 or 14 or 18 or something. And then he was like, how many wives do you have? And he was like, one. And the old man laughed so hard. Again, context. In Afghanistan, he was like, you have one? And he found it the most hilarious thing ever, because culturally for him, he's like, what kind of man are you? If you only could afford one wife, like he was like laughing at him, like insulted, like, yeah, bro, you gotta get your game up, like what you doing? So again, yes, context is everything. And when we have been, you know, in this hemisphere, actually maybe before the 500 years we were in this hemisphere, but that's another story. But you know, in modern times, being brought, sold into this hemisphere, we've also been sold a mindset based on that cultural and religious and just a societal overlay of what is right and what is wrong. So it's very interesting to try to keep an open mind, to think of things maybe you don't even agree with right now, but why you don't agree with it, and kind of peel back the onion as to what might actually work. Dare we say it? I don't know. Again, not my probably specific opinion right now, because I'm still in that boat of like, I don't know if this can work. I'm just gonna be straight up. I don't know if I agree with it.
No, but that's fair though,
play
right?
devil's advocate with your mind and say to yourself, well, what if it works for them? Go ahead, Savior Black.
No, I'm saying, but that's fair though. If you're looking at it from perspective of that does not work for me, and you get a guy coming there like, well, I'm gonna make it work for you. That's not fair, right? So the
but don't give me the choice.
Correct.
Don't tell me you already got 3 other baby moms and you'll hear setting up a tribe. This is not what I signed up for. That's the problem. That's the issue right there.
That's
non-disclosure.
Right. The non-disclosure, they're taking away your choice, right? They've taken away your right to choose whether or not this is something that you would be okay with or not. And again, for me, Nick Cannon is the outlier. He is the one who, as you're listening to him, all the indicators are that Nick Cannon is telling everybody walking in, this is what I'm doing. And you could either hop on or you can tell me, right. I say, I'm getting this team going. You could either hop on it or you can tell me to go kick rocks. Either way, I'm going to be good. Yeah. I say, and it didn't take away your ability to choose, like, oh, I walked in, I didn't know that Nick had another baby mama. I didn't know that Nick had all these other kids. I didn't know that Nick wanted me to bring the kids around for all the holidays as part of, you know, so that all the kids can meet each other and know who their brothers and sisters are. I didn't know about all that. But if you know and you still walk into it.
Yeah, should there not be any problem as long as those women had that choice, that knowledge, and chose it? That's a very interesting point. Yeah, I'm supposed to take my little cousins to the movies today. Regal Cinema has 3. I don't know if it's all over the country. $3 movies today. Y'all know about this?
I did not know about this. You said
I don't know if it's just in Florida or what, but this is the expensive outing of 10 tickets that's going to cost me like $50. I'm really excited. So we're going to take final comments from the chat. Last call. If you want to come up on the panel, do it now. Interesting conversation with my brothers, Savior Black and JT at what we
know. Yeah.
Christ, I don't know why I want to say
everybody's been messing it up. You ain't by yourself.
We know. Goodness, I had a good setup for know. Check out both these brothers' channels, y'all. We about to wrap up. Again, Nick Cannon, it's just an interesting public figure. No more, no less, right? It's not a damnation of him. Again, him and his God gonna deal with this at the end of the day. I try to get my house in order, you try to get yours, right? But it's a very interesting thing because, again, the influence that public figures have on our culture is so real, right? Indirectly, without, subconsciously, without us even realizing it, there's someone taking it in. Even, what made me smile about that part is the Serena victory. I was going to dedicate a show to her. I don't know if I'll be out Labor Day, so I don't know if I'm going to do Monday, but thinking about Serena lasting well over a couple decades and playing the spawns, if you will, of her very presence. Where are the Serenas? They're playing her now. The impact that she had is that, number one, I'm looking at the rosters of the Naomi Osakas, the Sloane Stevenses, all these young girls watched her. That's why representation matters. And that's why I'm telling you this type of topic, as taboo as it can be, matters. I'm thinking about the same thing with the Dominique Dawes. Shout out to those who watched Olympics back in the 90s. I remember wanting to be Dominique Dawes, right? The team in 96, one black woman. Her spawns Simone Biles and Jordan Childs, the top 3 women right now in the United States in gymnastics are Black. What if we had open access then? Get goosebumps, y'all. That's what I'm saying. Like when we think about culture, why are we paying attention? These things, people in these positions of influence, they have influence. Okay,
they have an influence.
It is not by they have a lot of money, we're ignoring them. There was, especially in decades past, this really deeper understanding of social responsibility once you have money and notoriety. It was really big. There was like that social contract of sorts that we made money, we give back. We also help the community. We don't too much. Some people still do it, right? But the idea that you just out here and you just do whatever you want to do, it has an impact on you. Maybe not you, somebody else, maybe not them, somebody's children. It has an impact, right? So who we are giving platform to, who we are allowing to, like, it's Nick Cannon on The Masked Singer, but they Googling him and they seeing the family and they're hearing the stories and, oh, wait, he's not just this, he's that. So whatever the lifestyle choices are for them, yes, you're like, oh, it's them, leave them alone. I get it. But we also know that society kind of gets molded by a lot of folks who come out of, entertainment, especially in Black circles, Black culture, entertainment, sports, and they're influential. So I want to say that why are you doing the show on this? This is why I'm doing a show on this. Because it's going to be imprinted on our culture one way or another. We're going to get wrap-up comments. Last call. We close in the back. You want to say something? Go ahead, Xavier Black.
No, I was going to agree with what you're saying, that just how influential the individuals are within that we see, right? So we always say that, people don't influence us or they don't have any bearing on us. Then why do we talk about that representation matters, right? If it doesn't matter, then representation doesn't matter, because you can see your images out there. And like you talking about you alluded to Serena, but then bringing it back to Nick Cannon. Nick Cannon would be one of those where you could say he does give back. He went to an HBCU, right? He going to Howard. He had this is his drive on what things that he was able to do, and then even in his family, I believe there was one allegation of infidelity with him and Mariah, but that was never confirmed.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I said that was never confirmed because she had a line in one of her songs, and then somebody said, "Was that about you?" And he was like, "I don't think that was about me, but it was about something about infidelity." He was like, "That's been the line."
I'm gonna let you know. Could mean nothing. I love me some Mariah. Big up Mariah. Those some classic songs, still giving us the Christmas hits. Thank you, Mariah. Sorry. So to your point, I agree with your point.
Yeah, so that representation matters. And he would be the outlier for me as far as if you were going to do that. The narrative should be look at all of what he did, not just the fact that he has multiple women, because that's the part where everybody stops. They stop on. They go, "Oh, he has multiple women," and they stop.
Dogging him.
No.
Dogging him.
Look at the rest of it. I say now, if you want to talk about if you're talking about your Cam Newtons or other people, it's like, hey, okay, well, that's what you don't do with having multiple women, or just because you have the money. Look at what the issues are here. This guy, he's been open, he's been upfront. I say, if that were the case, he's the outlier. And don't just stop at the narrative shouldn't stop at he has multiple women, which is where it stops.
Yeah, that's where we stop. Again, shout out to the baby mama. Zen was a baby born after Zion and Zillion.
Yeah.
And welcome Zen. This is the young baby that died at 5 months to the brain tumor with Alyssa Scott Golden and Powerful Queen. The babies have interesting names, by the way. Canon has 2 children with model Brittany Bell. Golden is the name of the child, is their 5-year-old, and Powerful Queen is an on and again, off and again duo's 13-month-old daughter. Bell and Canon first met in 2015, dated sporadically before welcoming Golden after giving birth to their daughter. Bell took to Instagram and wrote, "This is the best gift ever." This is what she wrote. We have been surprised with a girl. All I can say is that Nick was my rock through the most intense yet empowering natural water birth. Is nothing but powerful. Zillion and Zion. I didn't know he had kids named Zillion and Zion. 4 months after the birth of Powerful, Canon shared that he and DJ Abby had twins Zillion and Zion, born June 2021. This is her post, and nothing but love because they seem happy. All right. Canon partnered with there's Zillion and Zion again. We can again, the health of the Brittany Bell, Golden and Powerful. I think I had one more. Sorry, guys. I was trying to find it. And just to highlight the children and the children where they came in at the different orders. And of course, Mariah's children. So you're saying let's not just stop at he got plenty of kids. Let's just not stop at that. What the media will say, he got so many baby mamas. Moroccan and Monroe, we know that's Mariah's, the oldest ones. The rapper shared with fraternal twins with Mariah. Former husband and wife welcomed their twins back in 2011. So is it the consensus? I'm going to have you give your last comment, JT, and then have Savior Black. I got to take my people to the movies. So absolutely. Final comment. Such an interesting conversation today.
So what I gathered from just listening to Nick, throughout the years is that legacy is a lot that he talked about when it came down to kids. And one of the things that had me thinking is that imagine 20 years from now and you have a lot of adult canons from every facet of life and that empire that they have. Imagine you have some that's probably in Hollywood, some other ones that are, farming. I don't know. It's just and you got brothers and sisters. Imagine having 20 brothers and sisters and you all are just fulfilled and you carry that canon name. That's the whole thing he's looking at, how proud his children are going to be just to have that name as canon, how proud the women that have these children are going to be because they have a family that is actually affluent. So that's what I looked at. Myself personally, I know I've always been, conditioned to be monogamous. So that's where I'm at. I just
legacy and life is what he was talking about. Yeah, big up Nick Cannon. Again, it's not a popular in a Western context. It's not popular. So
and every guy won't be able to do that. Yeah. It's hard enough for me to be with one woman right now. I'm trying to maintain that.
Yes, Sandy B. Law, my sister-in-law in Miami, says your lifestyle choices infect our society as a whole. I only feel for the children. All right. Well, thank you for coming up, JT. What We Know podcast. You're welcome up anytime. Thanks for joining the conversation and bringing some of your, insight, knowing him, knowing of him, I know prior to me and kind of like studying him more in this, journey he's on and why he took this journey. It's very interesting. And I'm going to go check out your show about it. So thank you again. And you're welcome up anytime. Nice meeting you, JT. And y'all go subscribe to JT What We Know podcast. All right. Looking forward to seeing you some other time. You take
care. Nice meeting both of you.
You too. Thank you so much. Y'all hit up JT's channel. Check it out. Oh, the $3 movies is countrywide. That's why I'm like, I don't want to miss this. And I'm going to have to order them like right now. So $3 movies today only. Shout out to, I think it's AMC movie theaters only. But yeah, and we have a couple new theaters down here. So I'm going to take the kitty dudes, make it a little family outing on this beautiful Labor Day weekend. Hope y'all have some plans. So just relax, enjoy, give thanks for life. I even forgot it was a day off. I was like, Monday is Labor Day. I was confusing it with Carnival weekend. I was like, what am I thinking? So I got a couple outfits, though. I'm ready to go. Relax, spend the family time, kick it a little bit. I don't do, well, only when it comes to Jamaican parties. I do parties, but I do more poolside, more lounge, more, grown and sexy-ish. But this weekend may be an exception. We'll see. But Savior Black, your final thoughts and your plans. Any plans for this weekend? Long weekend?
Well, my son just stepped in, so I'm thinking I might sit there and go
get you a $3 movie.
I think that might be the plan for the day.
I want to tell everybody I need to go order them before people start getting onto it. But it's $3 movies today only. But yeah, final thoughts on Mr. Cannon and what you're learning from just kind of his experience.
I would say that my final thoughts is don't follow the normal narrative in regards to Nick Cannon. Normally we have this thought process of the happily ever after. And so man, woman meets, and then you have the happily ever after. They get married, and it's happily ever after. And nobody ever knows what the happily ever after is. They don't know about picking up. They don't know about when the pregnancy happens. They don't know about
if you can get pregnant.
If you can get pregnant, if you do have the babies, what that's going to look like, how that's going to change. We don't talk about the happily ever after. And I want to say that when it comes to Nick Cannon, do the same thing. Don't look at it as just a happily ever after. Look at all of the different aspects of that relationship that he has with these multiple women. It's not just he has multiple women, and don't just focus on, oh, that's what it is. And if you do, as a lot of times what it can produce, if that's the only thing that you focus on, are abusive relationships that we've seen traditionally within our community. So we don't want to have it where we have those same traditional abusive relationships or relationships where people are predators with our right, and taking away their rights.
You're saying keep it 100, whatever you're doing. Don't let the narrative just be he got a lot of women, y'all. But look at some of the details and nuance with how he can afford. He is open. He is not like keeping one from another. Some of the traditional issues, it seems like he's accounting for, whether you agree or disagree with it. Sunbree says, if we all had standards and boundaries, this is my thing. Keep your standards and boundaries, but allow me to make my decision about my standards and boundaries. Don't force step upon me. And I'm crying like this lady on Instagram. Roy, God forgive me, man. I feel for her heart. This when I saw it, I didn't post it, y'all, because the lady bawled from her soul. This man leaving her and doing all kind of things to her. And when I heard the video, this is a woman crying for her man. Wicked Roy from Guyana. I don't want to be this. Let me make my decision. Don't put me in nothing with nobody. I'm not laughing at her pain.
No, definitely not. But I'm saying, but the thought process. I mean, don't take away that choice.
This woman is in pieces, rolling on her couch. Men and women is a funny thing, and you can be hurt and burnt. Sorry, let me take off Roy. But the burning that people do, which I consider like you don't fully disclose. You thought I wanted a lifestyle where I take care of you. Fully disclose that, bro. Like what is the lifestyle here? And let me set my standards. And then you see if you adopt mine, I see if I adopt yours. I agree with you. That's a one piece of nugget that I don't think will be too much, glommed on upon or highlighted, because people want the narrative of the black man that got all these kids with all these women. Shout out to Mariah Carey, though. Shout out to Mariah Carey with the ring. Wagwan.
That was a big ring. She got two of them. She got one from a billion.
No shade to the other ladies, but Mariah was like, if we gonna do this, every holiday, all of this kitties, and this is so much. This is a lot. And that man got a lot of love to give. That's all I got to say. Women and children included, by selecting this way of being. This is a lot of energy. Period. Just to be a dad to one or two kids in your own house is a lot. So I pray he is giving them the love, time, attention, affection, and stability they need. Of course, really, Nick, was the subject matter. 65 likes. I thought we'd get like 100 likes. Get Team Replay, hit the like button. Drop a comment. Let us know after the show what you feel about a whole Nick Cannon saga. Again, check out my brother Savior Black on the last minute call. Savior, can you join me? Yay. Thanks for making time today, brother. Enjoy your movies. I said goodbye already. The chat is still so lit, and I cannot get to everybody's chat. But I appreciate RM, my girl, Sunbreeze, all of those in the chat. Super busy. Top G in the outside room. Quad. We still got to talk. Nice to see you, brother. All of the folks that are, whether you agree or disagree with him, I hope we can take it as a teachable moment on so many different levels. So that's it for today's Suzette Speaks Show. Y'all hit the like, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you'll know when the next show is. Welcome to all my new subscribers, and I hope you enjoyed today's broadcast. Check out Savior Black, and happy Labor Day. See you guys soon. Take care of yourselves. See you soon. Thanks for watching.